Hello, everyone, and welcome to Xbox International Airport. We are now boarding flight 23. But before I start introducing everybody, chat, how are you all doing today? I hope you are all doing great. It's going to be one wild plane ride. So now, let me get ready for introductions. And you know what? I forgot my cologne. Oh, okay. No worries. I'll just put my microphone right in front. Nice and easy, like I always do. So let's start with the introductions. Introducing first the man that grabs more gaming news than Carey Price pucks, has drunk millions and millions of beers. He is a gaming Jedi, and Game Pass is his force. From the Plume Network, the one, the only, Mr. Big Plume. How are you doing today, sir? What have you been playing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I love that intro. I love how you threw in the Carey Price thing there. I didn't expect that at all. I don't know if it's the Habs doll behind me or stuffed animal, whatever you want to call it. I gave it away, but I love the Carey Price reference there.
What, you have a dog back there?
I have a doll. Yeah,
A
it stays on the
dog.
shelf. It stays on the shelf.
If that thing moves, man, I'm not kidding you. You will not see my XBI today. I'm not kidding. If that thing falls from there, seriously, I would literally just run away. Just leave you all
It
here alone.
it may. I hear things at night. I don't know if it's that, but I hear things at night sometimes. It's kind of scary.
Oh crap! That's not good. That's not good. And what have you been playing, brother?
I've been playing a bunch of little things right now. I've been jumping into Game Pass and going through a bunch of little games. I'm playing a game. I just started it. It was just random called Dodgeball Academia, where it's like a dodgeball RPG where you're going through and you're leveling up your character and you're literally getting to dodgeball fights. But going through that's pretty cool. I figured get to throw balls at random people, so it seemed like a fun time. And so far, like surprised as to what it was, and just random game I found on Game Pass. I've also been playing some Killer Instinct because of all. I don't know if you guys saw the Twitter talk about Killer Instinct.
Oh,
That got
yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yes, I
so
Yes.
see that. Yep.
it got me back into jumping into it and trying to remember how to play and realizing that just how damn fun Killer Instinct is.
Yeah, just how we saw the Golden Eye, nothing happened.
Yeah, and it was it was one of my far out there predictions they were going to announce something, but they didn't.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And hey, Big Plume, thank you for joining us at XBI tonight for the Xbox Bethesda Aftermath episode, brother. Really, thank you so much for joining us.
yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about all that stuff. It's gonna be great.
Yep, yep. Now it's time to introduce the panel, and let me start first with this man who we still don't know how the hell he got his driver's license. We still question that and ask God how the hell he got it. Silent. How the hell did this man get his license? Seriously, we still don't know. The man who paid for a spaceship in a game that doesn't exist, which is Star Citizen, of course. Our master splinter, Mr. Blow. How are you doing, sir? What have you been playing, brother?
Doing great, doing great. But like I said, like I always say, Starfield is it's my is my game that's gonna substitute Star Citizen.
But, but,
So I
but,
got
what's-
that for
but the question
what?
is substitute what since it doesn't exist?
True, true, true. Anyways, yeah, I'm doing fine. I actually, before I talk about what I've been playing, I'm gonna introduce a small little segment for today, special segment within the introduction, and it's something that's done in the Plumecast, and let's talk about our beer today. So
Nice.
today I got here. This is Lions, Young Lions Brewer Company. This is a local beer, and it's made from Western New York. the original idea of this company, it came from Rochester, from friends. They were talking about starting a company, and the company is actually owned and managed by women. And this is the second time I drink this beer, so I kind of know the taste, but it actually tastes pretty good for being a nice local beer. So while I take my sip, uh crazy, why don't you bring your beer out?
Oh, why don't I bring my beer? Well, my beer is super easy. I am drinking the traditional Presidente beer. And I hope no, the light doesn't let me see it. Presidente. Which, here's a fun fact about Presidente that I didn't know. The beer was named in honor of then Dominican President Rafael Leonidas Trujillo, who was a dictator here in Dominican Republic. I
Oh,
seriously did not know that. That's pretty cool. What do you think, Sarah? Listen, it's got a nice touch to it. That's why I got the name Presidente because of Trujillo. And it's Pilsner. It's got 5% of alcohol. And man, it tastes great. Let's go.
okay. So since we're going with the beers, Silent, do you have your beer?
Why, yes, I do. And it's not in the can right now, it's in the glass, but I'll show you the can because the can's more impressive at the moment. So, this is called The Proper Glassware is an Empty Head. I don't know if you can see this.
That's a cool can.
That's
Lovely
nice.
little can.
Yeah, there's
So
always
this right,
cool drawings on beer cans.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this one it comes from a company that I really enjoy myself. It's Illuminated Brew Works, or Illuminated Beer Works, I think it is. And so the thing that's really cool about them is they're very into those big, just double dry hopped double IPAs. Like, they do a bunch of big double IPAs. One of my favorites that they do is actually called Junior Astronaut Juice. And I wish I had the can right now because it is just like glowing neon. And it's got an astronaut sitting on the front. It looks awesome. But as you can tell, like I said with this one, they go all out with their labeling. And fortunately, it doesn't lack in the beer. Because when you try these beers, you get so much flavor packed into these cans. This thing has like a major fruit tone to it. It's got it's got a bitter bite to it, but it's subtle. The hops aren't super bitter, but it is very hazy. If you look at this thing, you cannot look through that. It looks like a beer milkshake, which is perfect.
Yeah.
That looks
So-
good.
So that is what
I
I'm.
saw. Oh, I was gonna say I saw Plume pulled up his glass. Are you
Yeah.
drinking anything in particular?
Yeah, I am drinking. I have the can here. Drinking Innis and Gun. Nothing, not craft, not anything too crazy out there, but just one of my favorite go-to beers. It's a Scottish beer. It's an ale. Has some like vanilla and toffee and like oak flavors to it. See the color of it here. Just a very, very delicious beer. A little bit higher in the alcohol quantity as well. I think it's like 6.6 or 6.7 or something. So that's always a nice thing as well. But yeah, one of my go-to beers. And fun fact about it, I just looked it up. It's number one imported craft Scottish beer to Canada. This is
Oh,
probably
wow.
why I'm drinking it.
Nice. That's awesome. Those Scottish ales are always so good. Great malt to them.
Yeah, delicious.
Okay, well, to kick it back to crazy, what I've been playing a Tunic lately. That's what I've been on to, trying to get the third crystal.
Nice, nice. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. And now introducing the man with the million mask, the man who says world premiere better than the guy, which I don't know his name that actually says it, but okay. The beautiful bald man, our captain, Mr. Silent Cipher. How are you doing? What have you been playing, brother?
Well, crazy. It's time for a world premiere of what I have been doing this week. So I haven't been playing a bunch of games. I did get to jump into Slay the Spire a little bit. To be honest, and I know I'm going to get blasted for this one in the chat, I'm sure. But I feel like after I did all those showcases and watched all that, I was a little gamed out for a minute. So to be honest, I've actually been catching up on Stranger Things season 4 on Netflix.
Oh,
I started,
nice.
I started
So
watching. I started watching a little bit of it this Sunday. I'm in episode 3. I
it's
think.
good. It's
I know
good.
it's fun.
No spoilers or anything, but it definitely gets pretty wild.
Oh, it's good. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the second part.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they split it up. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, yeah. I guess I'll be waiting very soon then as well. But
Awesome.
but crazy. So what about you? What's up with
but
you? What
wait,
have you been playing?
no, wait. You know, my intro is always the last one. Ha ha ha. Last but not least, the man who's got the body of Stone Cold Steve Austin after drinking 150 beers, which is true. The man with all the crazy personalities. The man who actually pinned an alligator. That's also a true story. The man with the funny videos on Twitter, also known to his XBI panel as God Louie, which I know sour you put Goofy Louie, but no worries. I saw that and I fixed it real quick.
Mhm.
Mr. Crazy Louie, how am I doing? What I've been playing? Well, what have I been? How am I doing? I have had such a busy week with all this podcasting going on, all these shows, and watching all these incredible, fantastic Game Fest stuff going on, man. It's been one hectic, crazy week. How many shows have we been on? Part like 10 in the last week? 10 shows? It's been crazy.
It's
Also,
been a lot.
yeah, what I've been playing, well, the only thing I played was Sniper Elite with you guys on Friday. I haven't had a chance to sit down and play.
Oh, I forgot to play that too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's all we played this whole week. So it's been one crazy week, yeah, and I'm glad it's finally over. Is it finally over? Do we still got more shows? I guess we do, but we'll see what's gonna happen. So chat, please be seated and grab your popcorn. Wait, what is this written like that? Have your popcorns ready. No, it has
No,
to be.
you wrote your
I,
own.
I know. My bad, guys. Grab your have your popcorns ready. Captain Silent Sanford, take it away for the in-flight passenger announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Sour has turned on the subscribe button sign. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please stow your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt, and also make sure that your seat is in the full upright position. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are allowed on this flight. However, grab having or whatnot is strictly prohibited. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you, and back to you, Crazy.
Thank you. Let's start by shouting out our guests before we go into our next subject. And let's go up. Mr. Dark, how are you doing, sir? Happy to see you around here. It's Timmy. Live like Timmy. What's up, Timmy? Happy to see you here also. Hello, Doom Cutie, and welcome to Xbox International. Yeah. Let's keep on going down the list. Okay, here we go. I see Joshua James. Hello, Joshua James, and welcome to the show. Lots of fun. We're gonna have one raw ride tonight. Back from the dead. Hello, brother. Happy to see you here. Keep on going down. Sappho says happy birthday, guest. Oh, wait, wrong stream. Hi, everyone. Hi, panel. Hello, Sappho. Happy to see you here, brother. Going down. Infinite Umbra. Shout out to you too, brother. Hope you are doing well and fine. Victor Click Familia. Aquí estamos bebiendo Presidente, la mejor cerveza con verdadero sabor, Presidente. You know what? I hope they do sponsors, but let's keep on going. So, yeah, let's go down. Yep. Jay Vargas is here. Oh, man, Jay Vargas, we actually missed you these past couple of days, huh? Has the Celtics been winning or are they losing?
Kind of in trouble right now.
Let's go, Celtics. Yep, let's go.
Okay.
Eternal Shaddai, mi hermano de Puerto Rico. Me alegro ver usted por aquí. Who's this here? Fun speculation, Mav. Hello, my brother Mav. It's Caitlin's birthday. Happy birthday to Miss Caitlin. You better get her whatever she wants, man. It's her day. You gotta get her cake, candy bags, and all the cool stuff we get when we were kids. Yep, and lots of pizza. All right, guys. I guess it's time to go. Wait. No. I guess it's time to get to know our guest.
Oh my god, no. I thought we were over with this.
It's just like a bad nightmare. It keeps coming back again and again and again.
Hey, you know y'all love my singing, man. That sounds like Shakira.
When you have that great of a voice, you can't hide it. You gotta just sing.
I gotta sing.
You can't hide from it either.
I sound like Shakira, man. You know, hips don't lie.
All right. Well, we're going to get off of your hips and we're going to go into another topic now. So Plume, obviously, we know a few things about you so far. We know you like beer. We know you do podcasting. We know you like Xbox. We do have some other things for you, though. I want to know, starting off, I want to know what got you into content creating.
What got me into content creating? Well, it's not like a crazy story or anything. I've always been interested in like media, multimedia, video editing, photo editing, all that type of stuff. So I taught myself that kind of stuff, and I wanted to put it to good use. And one of the best ways was just going on YouTube and making videos. One of my passions, obviously, is video games, and I watched video game YouTube for years before I started jumping into creating content. And I figured I can do this. I might as well just go out there, put myself out there, put my opinions, talk about the news, talk about the stuff I'm interested in, and just to see what happens. And that was pretty much it. I decided to take the plunge one day, and now we're here. It's not anything crazier than that, really.
That's it. I mean, you humbly talked it down a little bit, but I would say that trying to get into it and just starting in general, like the fact that you actually took those steps is such a big thing on its own, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
The starting's the hardest part, and you always hear people say just jump in and just do it, but like it's so hard to take that plunge. People want to like make sure that they're putting out something good or perfect or whatever. And when you first start off, it's never good, really. It's never perfect. If you go back to some of my first videos, like I had like just a crappy little mic and some like shoddy gameplay over it. It all just comes with practice to getting it to a point where people actually enjoy consuming the content. But the jumping in, and when people say just jump in and do it, I fully just kind of believe it. Even if your first video is completely just garbage, at least you have a starting point for where to improve upon. So that's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
If YouTube is anything to trust, which sometimes who can say, but according to that, it looks like you're coming up on a birthday. You're going to be, what is it? So 7 years in October on YouTube, which is awesome. So congrats.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah,
It's a long time to do it, and it looks like you've amassed yourself a pretty awesome and loyal following and community, from what I can tell so far.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and really my community started growing. I mean, I guess I got to thank the Xbox Series X and S and the launch of the next gen consoles, pretty much, because that's when people started seeing me. I think it was I had one video that got like 30 or 40,000 views or something, and it had like double downvotes compared to upvotes, and it was just me giving my like just absolute layman's opinion on which of the between the PS5 and the Series X, which one was just built better. Because you remember they had like those breakdown videos where they took them apart and they showed how they were put together.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, you look at the Series X and then you look at the PS5, you look at like how much smaller the Series X is. It's more powerful. The way that they did the ventilation and all that type of stuff. I think it's a better build console for the longevity of them. And you know what happens when you give your opinions on one console or another. You have all the fanboys coming in, right? And downvoting you and all that type of stuff. So, and then like from there, people just kept watching my content, and my community's been growing, and it's an awesome community. And yeah, I love it. It's a ton of fun.
I gotta say, I started following you around that that
Yeah.
time.
I,
But yes.
I think before I kind of saw you pop back up again over the last couple of years, I think I did see you early on because my brother actually used to send me links to videos all the time and stuff. So I think I actually did see some of your stuff over the last 3-4 years because you've been doing it. You've done the beer thing with your videos for quite a while now, right?
Yeah, a decent amount of time. I'm not sure when I started it, but I mean, I've always what goes better with video games than beer, right? When you're just hanging
Yeah.
out and relaxing. So I've always thought it was a
Yeah.
good thing to go with it.
That was, I think, the last time that Sour threw a video on there just to kind of recommend it. I think it was almost a year ago now. He just threw one on there, and I was like, oh, I wonder. And as soon as I jumped in, you started talking about beer. I was like, I know this guy. I know him from somewhere. We have kindred spirits on that. We like beer, and that's glorious on its own.
Yeah.
So, speaking of beer, because of course, like you kind of touched on previously, I guess the one that you showed us is that your favorite beer then? Is that what you were saying?
It's one of my favorites. It's always one of my go-tos. But my favorite beer, like if I'm ever in a bar and they have it on draft, or if I'm ever in a restaurant they have it on draft, I don't know. Like people have mixed opinions on it, but for me, it's Guinness. Like I just absolutely love Guinness.
It's so good off that nitro tap.
Yeah, you can't beat it, and I'll take that over any craft beer, any lager, pilsner, anything like that if they have it on tap, and no matter where I go. And it's just not the same in the can. I still buy it in the can, but it's not the same. But I'd say that's my favorite. I got to get to Ireland one day, go to the Guinness factory and try one right from there.
Oh, absolutely. Taking it right off the tanks is a whole different experience from what I hear. So does that make it, is stout your favorite beer style, or do you usually lean more other way?
I mean, I usually lean more the other way. I find especially the craft stouts are just completely different than like
Sure.
the Guinness.
Yeah.
But I like all types of beers. I mean, if I'm never gonna say I'm not gonna try a beer, I'll drink a beer just to drink the beer and see the different flavors they have out there. But yeah, I usually lean towards like the ales, and I really like the red ales. But it's weird because Guinness is my favorite, so I'll always take that over everything. At the end of the day, trumps everything.
For sure. Sour, I heard that you wanted to ask a sports question.
Oh, what is your favorite hockey player all time?
My
Wayne
favorite
Gretzky.
it is not Wayne Gretzky.
Oh.
My favorite hockey player of all time is a player that like I resonated from my era growing up. He was the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, I think for like 10, 11 years. It was Saku Koivu. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he was he went through a lot. Like he had cancer, he beat cancer, he came back. He almost got his eye knocked out. He was on like some of the worst Montreal Canadiens teams of all time, but was still like productive and gave so much to the city, and was just such a good person and good guy, and like always got hated on because they never won with him around. But my favorite player of all time definitely has got to be Saku Koivu, just from childhood into now. And whenever I go watch a game in Montreal, I'm always wearing my Koivu jersey, and people always come up to me and say, "We're really happy someone's wearing Koivu jersey to support him, just because for how much he's done for the city."
Okay, and can I actually, because I saw you kind of chuckle when we asked when we talked about NBA. Do you watch any other sports other than hockey, or?
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch way more sports than I have recently, just with like everything going on, YouTube taking up a lot of time, and gaming taking up most of my time. But I watch basketball, I watch baseball, I watch a lot of football. Football, I would say, is probably the sport after hockey I watch the most, and probably as much as hockey. To be honest, I'm a big football
I
fan.
I see the Tennessee.
Yeah,
Is it a flag in the back?
yeah, Tennessee Titans, huge Titans fan. I actually was able to get down there for a Monday Night Football game a couple years ago, an incredible experience. But I play fantasy football. Yeah, I follow football inside out pretty much.
Cool.
It's awesome. So from our research a little bit into you, we discovered it looks like maybe you like some Star Wars. So I wanted to see what your favorite Star Wars movie was.
Probably Empire Strikes Back, or honestly Revenge of the Sith. Like, I really like that one. I don't know how old I was, but I mean, you can't really beat the ending of Revenge of the Sith, right?
No, especially when the door opens and they're like, "What do we do, Annie?" It's one of the darkest moments, but it's still so good.
Yeah, nice.
Order 66.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's Caitlin's favorite order. She talks about it all the time in her shows.
Jedi Fallen Order is an incredible game where they're going through that, and Obi-Wan right now I'm watching that, and it's been really, really good. I was surprised.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it seems really good so far. I'm happy that they did it justice after this much time.
Yeah, but seriously, they need to do a Darth Vader TV show. It deserves a TV show. There's so much stories of Darth Vader that needs to be done with and put on a TV show, because seriously, I mean, like, for example, what was it? It was the fourth Star Wars, what's his name? A New Hope, right? A New Hope?
Fourth, yeah.
Okay, and then in Empire Strikes Back is where he tells Luke he's his father, right? Yeah, I think that's it, if I remember correctly. So between those, there's a comic that he actually it tells how he finds out Luke and Leia are his kids. And he gets mad and literally smashes like the glass. All those stories of Darth Vader, they really need to be on a TV show. He has so much stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the best things. I think one of the best things about Obi-Wan is just how dark and just evil he is right now. Like, it's great. Yeah. They got to have a whole series just focusing on him, just like not holding anything back, right? Just force choking everyone.
The dark times of Obi-Wan. It's cool to see. Like, you figure. Having to go into hiding like that, like he does, spoilers if you've never seen the movies, which I don't think any of us. I don't think that's a problem at this point. But the idea of having to hide and stay from a distance, protecting people and not interacting or trying not to interact and stuff, probably make you a pretty grouchy old man sitting out in the desert in the super hot heat of the day all the time.
One of my favorite scenes of Darth Vader is in Rogue One. That's my scene. I mean, if I watch Star Wars, I can repeat that scene 100 times. Is when you remember in Rogue One, he's in the hallway, you just hear him breathing. All of a sudden, he turns on his lightsaber. Oh man! Yeah. I see that scene, I get shivered up, because seriously, I'm like, oh damn, that is just such an awesome scene. Out of the whole movie, I mean, the movie is okay, but that's what literally made that movie right there. Just that scene, oh man, that's awesome.
So we do have some more questions, but Sour actually has some additional ones. So I'm going to pass it off to Sour so he can go into the 4 C's with you. So Sour, take it away.
I'll be getting another beer. Be right back.
All right. So we have something called the 4 C's, where we go over 4 favorite things, and we're going to start with, what is your favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal. Wow. Okay, that's actually a very good question, because I love cereal. Like, it's actually terrible for my health with the amount of cereal I eat. If I could, I'd eat cereal literally for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But my favorite cereal, I'd say, is Captain Crunch. It's literally like crack to me. It's just like I can't stop eating it. I can't stop eating Captain Crunch. But man, I'm trying to eat the like reduced sugar cereals recently. Like, I bought some like Rice Krispies and some Crispix, and it's not hitting the spot. It's just not hitting the spot.
It's not the same, right?
No.
I'll tell you a hack for Crispix if you haven't already done it. Because I that's one for some reason that I've always liked, even as a kid. Yeah. But pour some honey over the top of those. That is really good.
That's a good idea. I like Crispix. I've tried. You don't want to know what I've done with my Crispix. I put chocolate chips. I put whipped cream. I put mini eggs. Like,
turned it into a dessert instead of a.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
When I used to go to the movies, I used to sneak in Captain Crunch.
Plume is not.
That was my popcorn.
Plume is not Plume is one of my favorite podcasters now, because he loves Captain Crunch. That is my favorite cereal. Captain Crunch.
That's my favorite cereal too.
Nah, sorry, we don't care about you.
I'm,
You take
I'm
one
there,
Okay.
I'm there with you. The only thing I don't like is when those little treasure chests, which, not gonna lie, for years and years of my life, I didn't realize those were little treasure chests. But those little things beat the crap out of your mouth. You eat a bowl of cereal, and afterwards you're like, "Why am I bleeding from the roof of my mouth?"
But every time you bleed, it's worth it. At the end of the day.
The
It
blood
is.
was
It
worth
is.
the
It's
time.
worth
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of moving, what is your favorite car? So,
I'm not like the biggest car. Like I don't know all the cars. I would say honestly Corvette, and for a couple of reasons. I actually drove. I used to work at car dealerships, and one of the most beautiful cars I got to drive around was a Corvette, and it's just like once I got the feel of that, I realized I'll never be able to afford one, but like I always wanted one, and it's just you hit the gas, you take off. It's just the sound of the engine, just a beautiful car. So probably Corvette.
okay, and what would be your favorite cartoon?
Um, favorite cartoon. I gotta I gotta go with like basic one. I gotta go with SpongeBob. Um,
That's fair.
when I was a kid, like I have like SpongeBob season DVDs. When I was a kid, we'd go on vacation and we go to like New Jersey to the Jersey Shore. My family would go to the beach, and I'd be staying in the hotel watching SpongeBob and stuff. So it's I gotta go with SpongeBob.
All right, so SpongeBob's fair. He's funny.
Yeah.
Favorite character? It could be from a movie, from TV series, from video games, from anything. Favorite character of all time.
Favorite character of all time. This one's actually pretty easy for me. It's Rocky. I'm
Oh,
a
Rocky,
huge
Rocky.
Rocky fan. Huge Rocky
Me
fan.
too.
I've watched all the movies a bunch of times. Like, I'm Italian. He's Italian stallion. My dad introduced me to Rocky. We've gone through all the movies, and it's just I love everything about Rocky. It's always the character that I always like, just like to reference and compare myself to, even though I'm nothing like him. But you know, he's Italian, so that's where we're the same.
Cool, cool.
Nice.
Now, moving from the four C's, we're gonna move to our time capsule question, which is uh, let's let our imagination flow a little bit. So let's make believe that there's an organization or foundation. It's called the Earth Historical Preservation Foundation, and they has chosen you to pick 3 games that they will send into space in a time capsule as a means to introduce the life form of our planet. What 3 games would you choose, and why would you choose these games?
Ooh, okay. First game, I think has to be a Nintendo game, and I think it's. I'm trying to decide here in my head between. I think it'll be a Zelda. I think it would be like Zelda, Link Between Worlds, or Zelda, A Link's Awakening. One of those two. So I'll just go with A Link Between Worlds. Let's just say that. And the reason I would choose a Zelda game is just because I think like when you think about video games, you think about where gaming started. I know it started before Nintendo, but like where the masterclass of game design really started. I feel like Nintendo is that, right, with like Super Mario and the Zelda games. And if you look at gaming today, pretty much most games take something from what Nintendo started with, like Super Mario, and from Zelda with their level design and their game design. So I'd have to be Zelda. And Link Between Worlds, it was a 3DS game. It's kind of like a Link to the Past, and you can like warp into the walls and stuff. Probably one of my, it probably is my favorite Zelda game. I absolutely just fell in love with that game. So probably Zelda would be one. Second one probably be that Halo game. Probably the Halo. I would just send the Halo Master Chief Collection because you get like pretty much them all. I know it's kind of a cheat, but it's still a single game.
It works.
It works. Actually, I think you're the second person to say that.
Am
on
I?
the show.
It's a great choice. I mean, you get multiple games in one. They're all great. Get some multiplayer in there if they have internet. Um, and you get to, I guess like also with Halo, it's you kind of get to show the other life form or aliens or whoever sees this game that humans and aliens can work together. I mean, we're not bad people. can be friends. And then a third one. Third one, I don't know. Maybe like a Tony Hawk, maybe like the Tony Hawk remakes.
Yeah.
Just to show like aliens that like humans can do these like extreme cool things, even though they may have way better physicality. They may be able to jump higher and float and stuff. We can still do these cool things with like a wooden board. I don't know. And it's a fun game.
Nice. That's cool.
Nice.
Nice choices. Definitely.
So, Crazy.
What's
I
up?
believe you had a few questions as well.
Yes, it's time for the crazy questions, which I got a couple of them. But first, in your Twitter account description, it says you make bad jokes. What's the worst joke you have for me?
Oh my god, I don't have any bad ones. I think
Yeah.
like all the stupidity on Twitter where I pretend to be an insider and is a bad joke, where it's like I quote tweet an article that literally says the information, and then I quote tweet it with saying the same thing and then hashtagging it insider.
That's actually a good one.
Awesome. I like that.
Now, here's a serious question, though. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Ooh, my favorite Star Wars character is probably Vader. I mean, he's just such a badass, man. Like I can't. It's a basic answer, but it's got it. Like he's just a badass. Every time he enters a scene, you're like holding your breath as to what's gonna happen. Just commands your respect, you know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, my last question. Since you love Star Wars, have you seen Spaceballs?
Have I seen Spaceballs? I feel like I've seen it. I know the movie and everything. I just if you're gonna ask me something from a movie, I probably won't remember it, but I believe I've seen it. I think I've seen it. I don't know.
Oh man.
I know what you're talking about.
You gotta revisit that one if you get a chance, because
Yeah.
that thing, even though I think they actually finally released a 4K version of it, so it
Did
does
they?
hold
Such-
up better visually. But the
man.
jokes and everything,
The jokes
in
in
that,
it,
still just on
Yeah.
point.
Because
it's great.
because the question I was gonna ask you is, which Star Wars character has the biggest shorts? I think Darth Maul takes the lead, though.
Oh,
What do we know?
do you? If you don't recall much of that movie, I'm not gonna get into here. I'm not gonna get into it here. But Crazy was trying to pull some shenanigans now.
So I go, I don't get a timeout. I don't get a timeout. Yes,
He got
yes,
lucky
yes,
'cause
no
Sour's away
timeout.
at the
Yes,
moment.
yes, yes,
Oh.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
hey, there he is. Isn't that
Oh.
convenient?
Oh,
Wow.
Sour.
Oh.
Crazy was trying to ask Plume about his Schwartz.
Yep.
His what?
Not my shorts.
His Schwartz.
I feel
No.
I feel like I know what you're getting at. So
Okay.
it probably needs a timeout.
Time out.
Yes.
There you go.
So it doesn't actually. I mean, in the movie they definitely make it that, but the Schwartz is like the power of the Schwartz. It's like his ring that he has, and it's where his lightsaber comes from. So, but
Okay.
he deserves a timeout anyways because he lied about 150 beers.
What?
I think Crazy's only on beer 2, so he's got 148 to go, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm
yep.
waiting to see.
beer
I'm
too.
waiting to see the receipts for this because.
But you did not answer correctly about the shorts, though. You need to answer, where did they put the shorts? And
You want another timeout? You want another timeout?
But we're talking about the shorts. Nothing wrong with that.
This is only your second beer, Crazy. You can't be drunk yet.
I'm not drunk. I'm talking about the
Hopefully
power
you're
of
not.
the shorts. The shorts is really powerful. What they do is they put the ring right in front, and it grows.
Okay, he wants a second timeout.
So, anyways, getting away from that, like I said, Plume, I apologize because Crazy, the sugar gets to him, and I think he goes a little wild sometimes. So, we are actually going to bounce from there, and we are going to start into the main topics. We're starting the main topics a little bit early versus some of our usual shows. However, a lot has happened since we last met up on Wednesday last week. There have been a lot of game shows. The game news drought has ended for now, at least. So, a couple things we're going to touch on, real shortly. The main focus is going to end up being the Bethesda showcase and the Xbox Extended showcase, because there was a lot in there. But Capcom did have a showcase as well. They touched base about Monster Hunter Rise, the expansion Sunbreak that's coming. They provided an update on Exoprimal. They touched base on some Resident Evil updates. Resident Evil Village has Shadow of Rose story DLC. It's got Resident Evil Reverse. It's got Resident Evil 4 gameplay that they put out there. And they also have a next-gen update for Resident Evil 7, 2, and 3 remakes are in the works. And unfortunately for Sour, there was no Dragon's Dogma. No Dragon's Dogma 2 news that he...
I'm hearing they've updated their website for Dragon's Dogma though, and it's gone like dark or something, and they're getting ready for an announcement. So I feel like a remaster or remake or something, or Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out.
Something.
So there's still hope then, Sour. There's still hope.
Well, at first, the impression I got from what they said was that they had a video coming, but then someone told me that they have an event coming like this. I believe they said the 16 or something like that. So hopefully they do show Dragon Dogma 2, because the first one, I love that game. I think it's it's one of these games, like kind of like a Plague Tale, the first one, that is a great game, but many people haven't discovered it. They haven't had the chance to discover it, and I hope the second part, do justice to the first one.
Yeah, they should make it like remastered or remake or something, get people to try it out again, because I feel like a lot of people who haven't tried it will fall in love with it.
Yes.
Especially if you can try and target it as like a multi-plat or something, so you can get like a real broad audience on that. I know that's always the complaint going on to Xbox, is traditionally a lot of those niche games and stuff just don't really do as well on Xbox versus like PC or PlayStation. So I think if you had like a real good multi-plat presence on that would really help to kind of revitalize some of those series and stuff, So regarding the Capcom showcase, just wanted to touch on it real quick, see kind of your guys' opinions. But Plume, did you end up watching the Capcom showcase?
I watched like some recaps and I was able to get through most of it. I was pretty like happy to see like the Resident Evil stuff, the DLC or whatever, and then the I think it was like the third person view we're getting for. Yeah, that looked really, really cool. Yeah. I've never really I've played Monster Hunter a bit. Like I've played Monster Hunter World. I never got into the Switch Monster Hunter game, so that wasn't really for me. Exoprimal looks kind of cool. It's like the co-op like dinosaur action game where you're taking on a bunch of different enemies in there. So, but for me, the key thing for me was like the Resident Evil. And did they have Street Fighter 6 in there? I forget.
They did show Street Fighter, and something that me and Sauer talked about yesterday was about the open world thing. They are doing something like open world, which looks pretty weird, but I hope they really do a good, cool thing. Like make it awesome, right?
Like sort of like a RPG where you're kind of like leveling up your character.
Yeah, run around, get into fights, like how Sour Blue said it. Because really, I saw that and I was like, I was like, that looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Street Fighter for me is like Street Fighter 5, when they launched that game, I bought it on PS4 because it was exclusive, and it was just so bare bones. There was nothing there, and I fell off of it so fast. So I think they learned their lesson, and we're gonna get tons of good single player content right when Street Fighter 6 releases.
I think they copied off the whole Killer Instinct thing. Remember when Killer Instinct came out, it only came out with like 5 or 6 characters only, and then you had to start buying each and every character. That was just insane. I was like, why would you want to make a fighting game with just 3 or 4 characters in the game, and then we have to buy all of them. That was just insane. And Street Fighter pretty much the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember how much they had, but none of them were interesting. I mean, you had to buy Guile, you had to buy this, buy that. That was just crazy. I mean, seriously.
The fact it didn't come with Guile day one was kind of shocking on its own.
Yeah.
He's such a traditional character to have on there. That'd be like if Mortal Kombat came out and it didn't have Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
That did happen. That was gonna say that did happen, but it happened in Mortal Kombat 3. Scorpion did not come out in Mortal Kombat 3.
Yes.
And so they made Mortal Kombat.
Learned.
They learned.
They learned.
That was crazy.
That was
funny because sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying it's funny because they've been showing Guile gameplay now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they know that people were upset with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what's up, so they're showing him early, so people know that he's going to be there once you pick up Street Fighter 6.
Yep.
Yeah, they took a pretty big lick on that one, I think, when it happened. Also, it was interesting, right? Because like Street Fighter 5, when it came out, it did have a very bare bones set of characters. Tekken at that time was doing really well because like they had a pretty good lineup, but then they continued to support their game. I think they're still bringing stuff every now and then, or maybe they just ended.
Well, I think I think if they ended, it was recently.
It's very recent, yeah, because like they had such a long tail, and Street Fighter, like they tried to kind of jump into that and follow that up. It didn't work as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my hope, right? Is that competition kind of drives this next Street Fighter ahead.
I think for the previous Street Fighter 2, I think they had that other guy, which my opinion is I think they had that guy to replace Guile. I forgot his name. He had similar movesets.
Charlie. Charlie's his name. Charlie.
Okay, I think it was Charlie. Okay,
it was Charlie. Yeah.
Charlie, he even had the whole like.
That was for the alpha. Did he come out for Street Fighter 5? I know he's in the Alpha series. I don't know if he's in the Street Fighter 5.
I don't know if his name is Charles, but
his name is Charlie.
But I definitely played Street Fighter 5, and I played with that guy, and he played pretty similar to Guile.
I wonder why. I mean, I don't know. I guess down the road they could have anticipated that they could charge people for Guile and people would just buy it. But that seems like such a weird thing to leave him out. I wonder what the reasoning was for that. I'm sure we'll never know the answer as to why they chose to go that route. But I would like to be a fly on the wall during that meeting to see like what the reason was as to why they abandoned him.
I wonder if it was something to do with the deal too, right? Like because they made that deal with PlayStation for exclusivity. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to make more money through microtransactions, and they were like,
possibly.
Well, they buy Guile through the PlayStation Network. We both will make money. You get your royalties. We get our royalties for bringing over the players. Who knows?
Yeah,
there's so many things going on in these backroom business deals for games.
I mean, it could have been, especially during that time. DLC, microtransactions, stuff like that was pretty rampant across a lot of games. So maybe that was their thought, was like greed took place instead of concerning themselves with having the best lineup of characters.
Not only that, I was gonna say that's why Mortal Kombat X did so well, because it had so many characters, and the DLC characters were crazy. I mean, you had Jason Voorhees, which was freaking awesome. Yeah. Then you had the aliens, the alien xenomorph. Xenomorph. That was insane. That was crazy. And then when you go to Mortal Kombat, what was it? 11? Yeah, 11.
11.
You had Rambo, RoboCop, Terminator with that was such a bad Arnie voice, but Terminator.
I think that's smart what they did, getting like kind of like third party like characters to be a DLC, because it feels kind of right that you don't pay for you're buying Mortal Kombat, so you don't actually pay for most of the Mortal Kombat characters. You mainly pay for characters that come with deals and etc.
Now what we need is Chuck Norris to be in Mortal Kombat. Yep.
On
Well,
that note,
that'll be fine, but not a
Thank
Chuck
you.
Norris game.
No,
not a checkpoint.
I want a Chuck Norris game too, but Chuck Norris in Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat. I mean, can you imagine his fatality just like stare at you and you just blow up?
He just
That'll be
You know,
funny.
that'll be a funny.
So Sour, what was your takeaway from the Capcom showcase? Obviously, you didn't
Oh,
get
horrible!
exactly
No
what
Dragon Dogma. Horrible.
yeah, didn't get what you were hoping for. But was there
No.
still something that kind of jumped out at you in that show, at least?
Well, definitely something that I did like was obviously the Resident Evil announcement, especially when they said, we got 2, 3, and 7 upgraded for the next gen, and I'm actually looking forward to playing them. And I think I'm gonna start downloading them to play them when I'm in the couch. Definitely.
Sure. Did you play those games recently? Will this be a revisit for you, or
Well, I played a little bit of the 2, but the original one. So I haven't played the remake.
Okay.
And I
Man,
haven't
that's
played the
a
other one.
drastic change that you're going to be
So, yeah.
walking into.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
that-
Yeah,
Great
I
game.
tried going over them again, and I started with the first one, and I couldn't with the first one. I'm like, no, I can't
No.
with these mechanics.
Plume, you enjoyed number 2, I take it.
Yeah, the remake of 2 was
Hell
awesome. So I was
Especially Mr. X after you.
Yeah,
That is
I
terrifying.
I enjoyed that there were still the shenanigans where, like, if things got too much, you could go over and hide in one of the save rooms, and
Yeah.
he couldn't follow you. It didn't work all the time. Every now and then he'd manage his way in, but like generally that was a good trick, especially early on when you don't have a lot of weapons or a lot of weapon upgrades and stuff. That was nice.
No,
That was nice to have.
the worst thing you could do is like, because here's the thing though, before you head to where he is, you need to pretty much clear out the police station. Because if you leave, what was these guys' name? The one with the long tongues? Is it what's their name?
Oh, the liquors.
The liquors. If you leave a liquor alive, oh dear Lord, and you have Mr. X after you, those liquors will just kill you, or either Mr. X or the liquors just get you right away. And that's crazy. So you better clear the police station out, because really, it's annoying when you're running from Mr. X, and that guy walks pretty fast. He's fast. Doesn't slow down. And all of a sudden you enter a room and there's a liquor, like and just keep on running, and the liquor grabs you, hits you. It's insane. So yeah. Fun game, really fun game, really intense. Fun and
That's
intense.
your that's your quick crazy Louis advice on Resident Evil.
Yep. Resident Evil 2.
Make sure you get rid of the liquors before you go against Mr. X.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Remember that.
So crazy. Was there
Mhm.
anything specific that jumped out to you that you were excited about from it? I mean, obviously Resident Evil, it seems like you were pretty stoked about that whole show. But
I'll tell you
any
something though.
specific thing?
Well, I'll give you a few tips. Like, for example, Exoprimal is pretty cool.
Mhm.
I mean, when I saw Exoprimal, I was like, this is what Anthem needed to be. I wish Anthem would have copied what Exoprimal had and just bring that out, except for the dinosaur stuff, because of course it's got its dinosaur, but like the machines and everything, that's pretty cool. For me, that reminded me kind of like Anthem, like I said. And, Anthem needed to be just like that, pretty much. Also, I saw the whole Resident Evil thing, which something that I really do not agree with is that, again, Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean, oh dear Lord, here we go.
Yes.
Okay, you got.
Okay.
No, I'm not happy with that remake. I mean, you had it for GameCube, you had it for PlayStation 2, then you had it for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, then you had it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and now you have it for. It's been like 5 freaking remakes of that game. I mean, put it to rest. I mean, I would have worked.
I'm gonna argue with you on that one a little bit though, because the PS2 one wasn't really a remaster or an upgrade. It was really just port.
Oh no, I'm just saying where it started to, just saying because it's been out in all of the consoles. It hasn't taken a rest, right?
Sure.
So what I would have done if I was these guys at Resident Evil, I mean, seriously, I would have sat down I would have done a remake or Resident Evil Zero if I wanted to stick to Resident Evil, right? Or do a Resident Evil Code Veronica. I'm not saying that I want a Code Veronica. I'm just saying I
No,
would have
no, no.
worked on that just in
No, no, no,
case.
no.
Just
Thanks
in
God
case.
you're not in charge.
Okay, yeah. And one last thing, I would have worked on a Dino Crisis because really Dino Crisis deserves a remake. I think Dino Crisis should have been the remake of of this generation instead of bringing again another Resident Evil remake because you already have 2 and 3 which were great and 3 they literally messed it up. They messed up 3 real bad. I do not like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how 4 is gonna be, but I'm not gonna play it till price drops. I'm not really that
Watch
desperate.
them buy it day one and play it day one.
Yeah.
No, no,
You
100%.
remind me of my brother, where
no,
he'll be
no.
like, "I'm not getting the new Call of Duty. It's just the same thing over and over
No,
again.
no, no, no,
You
no, no.
shout people, it's
Because
bad." And
because I
then
play
day one, he's like, "Dude, I'm level 13 already."
because I already played I already played in Xbox One, so I'm really like in no rush of playing it. You know,
But
Okay,
it's
real
not.
quick.
those achievements, though, crazy.
Nah, I don't care about the achievement stuff. Nah. Also, Mr. Dark is asking Plume if you play Code Veronica. I think you have it. Did you, Plume?
I have it for PS2, but I don't. I played it. I can't remember like the last time I jumped into it though. So if you're gonna like, I don't know. I can't remember anything really about it. Was it like a game that was enjoyed by the masses, or was it one that people just
Not
no?
very memorable. Not very
Yeah.
memorable.
The thing,
Generally, the black sheep of Resident Evil in
let
general.
me
Yeah.
let me tell you the whole thing about Code Veronica. Okay, the story wasn't that good. The only good part was when Chris Redfield came out and faced Wesker. That was the best part of the whole game
The
because
rolling
you
of
face
the credits was pretty good.
yeah you face Wesker, and Wesker is actually one of the coolest bad guys Resident Evil has ever had, and that was the first time you faced him with Chris Redfield. So that's the only good thing it had. But like the story was, yeah, about two twin brothers and yada yada yada. Virus, I think I forgot the name of the virus because each time you got X virus, triple X virus, vibrating virus, you got every type of
Whoa.
virus name.
Whoa,
Seriously.
whoa.
T virus, V virus. Seriously, there's just too many types of viruses. So yeah,
So you
it
would you do or you don't want a remake of it?
but look, like I said, if I was doing a Resident Evil remake, I would have chosen or Zero because Zero deserves a remake, or RE Core Veronica, right? I would have done a Core Veronica, those two. But like I said, I will not on my choice. Like if you say, okay, which remake would you like to do? I would have said 100%. Let's do a Dino Crisis. That one deserves a better remake than another Resident Evil game. Seriously. And then after that, I will work on 4. I will work on 4 on
Yeah.
the next generation. Just leave it to rest to the next generation. That's
It's
what I
gotta
would have done.
it's gotta be the IP notoriety as to why they probably wouldn't do a Dino Crisis. Like the amount of money they
No,
probably raked in on remake of
pe-
2 and 3 is probably
Oh,
just
yeah.
insane. So they know 4 is going to be making them just as much, if not more, because I think 4 is probably more popular than 2 and 3 in general in terms of like the masses of amount of
uh,
people have played it right now. Because they, like you said, they've remade it. Like they've had a bunch of versions of it, right? And
yeah, yeah.
Four is the most
4 is the
popular.
most popular, but for me, I did not like 4 because here's the thing with 4 though, the guy speaks Spanish. I know Spanish, so for me, it's not scary.
okay,
So it's just
I was go-
like they come after you like te
I was-
voy a matar. You're
I was
like
worried
okay,
where you were going with that.
I thought you were gonna say it was bad Spanish because my wife speaks Russian, and sometimes we listen to Russian in games, and I'm asking her what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
saying, and she's like, "This is the worst Russian I've ever
Yeah.
heard."
No, but like I said, when the bad guys come chase you like te voy a matar, you're like, oh okay, come on, bring it. I just kick you, pop, because that's the one thing that Leon did was kick people, and I just kicked them around. But yeah, that's the thing about it. It didn't scare me as much, and it was much more like an action-based game. I'm not saying it's bad; it's good, but I like better 3. 3 for me was like the intense of all the Resident Evils because all of a sudden you're walking down a passageway, and boom comes in Nemesis and it says stars, and you're like, whoa, you gotta run because he's gonna kill you right away. It was crazy, you know. That was for me the best one out of them all. But the old one, not the new one.
I gotta say, I like Joanna Dark's comment in the chat, asking if we could get you to translate the game for us crazy. I think I wouldn't be too afraid of number 4 either if we had you translating, because it's go
No,
guitar.
no, no. Like I said, for example, like the guy comes after you, he says, "Te voy a matar." He says, "I'm going to kill you." You're like, okay,
It would
you
be a
know?
musical if
Yeah,
Crazy
seriously.
translated.
No, honestly,
Seriously, I
I
mean,
think I'd like to just hear like a full English version with really bad dubs on it.
yeah.
It's just
But you
like,
know,
I'm going to kill you.
yeah. That's crazy. I mean, seriously, like the way I'm a matar, I'm going to kill you. You're like, okay, you know, since I know Spanish, it's not that scary. But
It's fair.
a person who doesn't know Spanish and listens to that, they're like, whoa, you know,
I'd be terrified.
that'd be terrified. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
You know?
So, getting off of the Capcom train,
All right.
we're gonna move a little bit further down. We're gonna
Yes.
go to the Jeff Keighley's, or the Keigleys as they are known, or the Kegleys as some refer to it as well. We're going to go to the Summer Game Fest showcase, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff. However, the main focus that we're going to go on is the Game Pass titles, because I'm curious as to what your guys' opinions on that were.
Yeah. But
So,
wait, before we go into there, I'm gonna kill Sauerbrunn on one thing, because in the Summer Game Fest, you forgot to add the best part of the Summer Game Fest. But okay, we'll get to that later. But either way, before we start, buddies, hey guys, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit that bell and share it out to the world that Xbox International is live right now, so they can jump in and join us in the show and
He's
enjoy.
drunk already.
No, I'm not
Yep.
drunk. I'm not
those
drunk. I just
those 2.5 beers are affecting his brain.
Dude, I'm not drunk. I mean, I can stand. I can do number 4. You guys want to see? Look, number 4.
But
Yes.
no. We don't want to.
You still got 148 to go, Louis.
Yeah.
I got max number 4. I can still do it. All right, let's go.
You were shaking.
Oh, wait, hold on, Plume. Should we do it based off of the U.S. side, or should we do it off of the Canadian version? So the conversion, so it's like double.
Canadian.
Canadian. Yep. Okay. So you have about 280 to 290 units, actually.
All right.
Yeah. Feel that pain.
Yeah. Don't worry. In the heat, you'll just sweat it off. It'll be fine. So going on to the Summer Games Fest. So a few things I'll give you, and you guys can give me your opinions on, what stuck out to you. But we did have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. We had Routine, Midnight Fight Express. We had Humankind, and also Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. And those ones are all going to be going to Game Pass. Which is awesome. Those ones are all day and date, right? Sour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a big thing. But Plume, which out of those few that we have, what sticks out to you? What draws you in? What are you interested in?
Oh, for me, like the game I'm the most excited for by far is the one out tomorrow, which is Shredder's Revenge. Like the second they showed that game off from it's a .emu or whatever the publisher is, they put out Streets of Rage 4, which I absolutely loved. The second they showed that game off, I was just hoping that they were putting that into Xbox Game Pass based off of like the previous history. I just can't wait to play this game tomorrow. Like I've already pre-ordered the special edition. I have friends who want to jump in and do like the 6-player co-op and like beat the entire game in sitting in one night. So that by far to me, I know in 2022 we haven't had like the big AAA stuff from Xbox, and I mean in general 2022 has been like a down year, I would say, for like the entire industry in terms of AAA. Yep. Let's say this year we got 10 great AAA games. I think this game to me would still be up there for one of the games I'm most excited for. So
Except for Nintendo.
Yeah, well, the Kirby game, I guess, from Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo's been doing good on their own AAA games. PlayStation has actually 3 out, which is MLB, Horizon Forbidden West, and last one is Gran Turismo. But yeah,
Gran Turismo. Okay, yeah. So I guess not too bad from there, but yeah, Shredder's Revenge. I mean, it brings me back to like the Super Nintendo days with like Turtles in Time and stuff. I can't wait to jump into that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you know what the cool part about that Ninja Turtles thing is? It's just based on the cartoon, which has made me really happy because we never had a game based on the cartoon. You know,
Yeah,
like you got all the cartoon characters in there. We got April from the cartoon, we got Splinter from the cartoon, we got Casey Jones from the
PC, yeah.
cartoons, the bad guys from the cartoon series. I mean, all that stuff is awesome because Turtles in Time we did not. We only had from the toy sets pretty much, but not the cartoon actually. The cartoon, like the
I
way it's
think.
made,
Well, I think
it's
the SNES games there were some that were based. There was a really good SNES game.
uh,
I don't know the name of it, but there was
The
Turtles in
one that was
Time.
pretty good.
Turtles in
Turtles in
Time.
Time was like the main one that I played back in the
Okay,
days.
That
Yeah.
was
then
that was their main one.
that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I'm talking about pretty much whole cartoon. Like you see all the cartoon characters in it. We did not see that till now, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm really hyped for it too, and I can't wait for it tomorrow. That's gonna be awesome. Oh man.
Yeah, I can't wait to jump into that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You're
I'm
mute, silent.
Silent. You're mute. Hello,
You're muted.
Captain. I,
There you go.
Sorry. The captain was on autopilot for a second, but we're back. We're good now. Plume. So you mentioned a special edition of Turtles. Is that the digital, or did you find a really cool one online or something? Is there?
No, it's the actual physical one. I think it's like, so it's weird how they're doing it with Shredder's Revenge. I think they have like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 different special editions from different publishers. Like Limited Run has one, like
Okay.
Strictly Limited or something else has one. But then there's like an official one, I think from .emu, and that's the one I have. It has like the really cool art cover for like the box and everything. That's the one I got. Like it was the first one they released. But yeah, there's a bunch of different special editions for this game, which generally with these types of games, you see that it's like they give them out to all of these like limited run publishers to make their own cool thing with it. But if you look it up, it's like it's really cool. It's expensive. I don't know if it's worth the amount. I think it's like Canadian 200, so maybe like $100 American.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's really cool. It was hard to pass it up.
Don't blame you there. That's it hits that nostalgia button for me. I'll
Yeah.
be checking that out right after we're done with this.
I'm already looking for it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's the Cowabunga. Oh no,
Ooh.
yeah, the Cowabunga collection. That's the one.
Oh, okay.
Shredder's
Okay.
Revenge, Cowabunga.
Writing that down real quick.
Cowabunga.
Sour. What jumped out at you as far as the stuff here? And again, like I said, I mean you could jump into something else if it strikes you, but mainly we're focusing on Game Pass titles. What one jumped out at you?
Well, besides Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I gotta say that routine game really caught my attention. Like I never this is my first time seeing it. Dark told me that he had seen the original trailer back then. This was a game that went completely silent for a while, and so this was my first time seeing it. And I gotta say that the way the character interacted with different objects, and like the lamp started flickering, and the movement in the background of the robots, it gave me a nice, like a very nice, cool, like horror environment where it felt pretty creepy, even though it was just with robots. It seems to be a game with robots, but it looked pretty cool actually. Like what
They can do a really, really good job with stuff like that. Like, again, sorry, jumping into spoilers. This one's more recent though. But Alien Isolation, that was a thing that they touted
Oof.
in that game, is the fact that pretty much like all you ever run into are either the xenomorph or robots. And the robots were terrifying when you came across them, like trying to beat them up and stuff. It was, I don't know. It just had a different level of fear that it added to the game having that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like that. I don't know if it's just because it's that like the uncanny valley effect where they look human, or there's that human nature to them, or they're just kind of unusual that is like so off-putting. But yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
For
Um,
for for me, those
crazy.
Zoras were really, really, really annoying. And the alien isolation, that what got me
Yeah.
much more annoyed. I mean,
Dude, they
you
were brutal.
oh Lord, not only that, they took so much bullets. I mean, you had like a
Mhm.
magnum, was it? And you shot them in the face right there. Just nothing happened. It just came at you like it's
They'd
nothing.
take that thing, their neck
Uh,
would pop to the side, and they'd look back at you and
yeah,
keep coming.
they
Like
keep coming.
it was terrifying.
It was annoying. And the alien where you shot him with the magnum, nope, nothing worked.
Yeah.
That thing is indestructible. Oh man.
So crazy. Regarding the ones that we have on there, what jumps out at you? So again, a reminder: we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Routine, Midnight Fight Express, Humankind, and Warhammer 40K.
You know, I'll tell you something though. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the thing that pretty much got me all crazy. That it finally got a release date. When I saw that on Game Pass, it made me smile because really, that's the game I've been watching all year, like saying when is it gonna go? When is it gonna come out? When is it gonna come out? When is it gonna come out? And finally, it's coming out tomorrow. So yeah, that's what got me much more excited.
So soon. Honestly,
Yes.
like
It was a surprise.
I don't know about you guys. Plume, you can speak on this and tell me if you're in the same boat. But man, I feel like at this point, with everything that's gotten delayed, like years and years and years now, over the past couple of years with pandemic and everything, it's so refreshing
Yeah.
to see that something's actually coming out, and coming out like ASAP. Like I don't know if you ran into it as well, but I feel like we kept getting in that habit of just everything getting delayed. And so to have stuff like this or stuff hitting next month, it feels nice. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, but it's just so unusual nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like it's nice that they gave us a release date because they had held off the release date for so long, and then they gave us a release date that was literally like a week away. Right? Generally,
I was figuring 2023 personally, like that's so the idea that like I could jump on there tomorrow and I could actually play with you, I could play with Crazy, Sour, like we could get a gang together and run around and play that game. Like that's wild that it's coming that quick. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be good too.
Also, Routine was pretty cool. Midnight Fight Express, I mean, was pretty awesome. Yeah. Humankind, I'm like, cool. And the Warhammer, I'm actually really happy it's getting its release date and it's coming out because it was specifically for last year. It's coming out this year. It's gonna be pretty cool. 4-player co-op. Lots of fun. That's gonna be a really fun game to play because each character has their own ability, and we're actually gonna enjoy that. It's gonna be a fun game. But what really hit me out, which is not mentioned here, and I was like, like the final part of the show. I'm not gonna get into it. Never mind. Just go.
No, I think it has something to do with zombies.
Yes, I was actually gonna get into that because really, when I saw that and a remake and the price, I mean, seriously, there's nothing in the world that pisses me off the most. And you making me a freaking remake just to make the graphics look a lot prettier and charging me $70 just for prettier graphics.
I agree. I agree with that. And what I was wondering was, correct me if I'm wrong because I wasn't following it, but for the multiplayer experience for The Last of Us, wasn't that supposed to be something they were releasing with The Last of Us 2? It was supposed to be
part of it.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it's too ambitious.
Standalone. Yeah,
it's too ambitious to release with the game, so they're going to charge you what? Like, what are they going to charge you? Another $70? But I think what they did was they're like, because we know what PlayStation's doing with they're trying to make more games as a service, live service games. I think like they said they wanted to make like 12 by 2025 or something. Yep. They just took that and they're like, we're going to rip this out from Last of Us 2. We're going to make it its own live service game so we can cash it on live service. We're going to come out here, say it's too ambitious, and then we're going to sell it to you full price or whatever they're going to do. Maybe put it into the PS Plus subscription and they get people to try to sign up for the subscription later. So I like it's I don't know. They just continue. To me, when I heard that, I'm like, they're just lying again about this stuff. There's no way.
Like,
Yeah.
but right after, but right before we jump into the last thing, I want to talk about the Summer Game Fest, which for me was the best part. But again, $70 just to see her prettier and see the guy pretty, looking handsome. I mean, seriously, dude, stop with that. Stop it. I mean, why isn't people fighting that? Would have thought that I would have made Naughty Dog work on another game, like another
Yeah.
Uncharted game with another story, which would have been a lot more cooler than a
Yeah,
freaking
but
remake.
crazy.
Ugh. But
So
that's
I'll,
not.
I'll jump into it on real quick, and
Yeah,
I'll make it short. But
yeah,
this is just like what we talked about previously on one of
yeah,
our other showcases when we were watching it.
yeah.
Is I think it was when we were with Dutch, or no, we were
No,
with Boxenberger.
Boxenberger.
Yeah,
Boxenberger, yeah.
we were hanging out
Yeah.
with Boxenberger and crew,
Yeah.
and when we were talking about it, I mentioned I was like, I know why they did it. Right, like it's so scummy at this point that it's not a hidden thing. Like the idea that you're saying, hey, I'm going to charge you $70 for this remake, and then I'm going to charge you $40 or $50 or whatever else for the multiplayer, because now it's like Plume said, too ambitious. It just, the writing's on the wall that it's like, and I'm sure there's probably nothing actually to this. This is a tinfoil hat throw out there. But I kind of feel like they're like, man, GT Sport really crapped the bed on on the microtransactions. But you know what's got a real good following, and you know what could probably make us some of that money back? Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, and
I mean,
I don't-
again, that's just speculation. But
I
Yeah,
think-
because this is what I'm saying though. Okay, you're making a remake, okay, but if you charge 40, okay, I understand you charge 40, 30, that's pretty cool. But $70 is pretty much a whole new game. And there's like, oh, we
Yeah.
build it from top to bottom. But dude,
yeah.
You know what, crazy? You know what, crazy? I actually don't blame them because
No.
I would do the same if I would have, the following they have.
oh
and
no, I get it.
basically
I get it.
They just take it and they
I
it's like they
totally
have
agree
no
with you.
voice, unfortunately. So
agree.
I will keep
Plume.
doing it.
Yeah,
you were
but-
gonna say something.
But
I understand why they do it, but the thing too with the remake, it's literally a 15-hour game you're playing. In Canada, it's gonna be $90. So I'm gonna keep throwing the Canadian dollars out there for it. But also the only thing with the multiplayer thing, it's like the saving grace to that potentially could be is if they just take that, because it was supposed to be free, I think. If they just threw that into like the subscription service to try to get people
Yeah.
to sign up for it.
exactly.
But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Maybe they'll charge like 40, 50
It's
bucks
like
for it.
look what Mr. Dark says. Let's not be hypocrite crazy. We all rebuy games we love. I'll give you an example. I mean, I'm a big fan of Doom. I love Doom to death. I mean, everybody knows I'm a big fan of Doom. But if Doom 2016 comes to me with a remake and says, "Hey, I'm charging you 70," I'm not gonna buy the Doom 2016 remake charging me 70. No.
Here's
way.
the other thing that Dark isn't
crazy.
really jumping into on that, right? Is like
Yeah.
he asked me the question of would I buy Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 for $80? Yes. To
Yeah, I would
me,
too.
that's a steal, especially
Yes.
because number 4 never came to anything besides PS3.
Exactly.
But even if that weren't the case, right? If you bring a game and you say, hey, we're going to have this multiplayer, it's going to be part of it. And then you come back out and you're like, hey, surprise, we're going to separate it. I'm sorry. I don't care how you try and do the mental gymnastics for that. It's
No,
scummy.
yeah.
I
It's
don't
scummy, yeah.
care how you
I'm sorry,
approach
but
that.
Yeah, and
And-
it's a
and
game
again-
that doesn't even need it didn't really need a remake.
No,
it didn't really
no,
need a
it
remake. Not
looked
now.
gorgeous on its
It
own.
was gorgeous. Yeah,
It's
it did.
it's been recent enough. Like I would argue, if you had something from PS1, PS2 era, and you're remaking that,
Yeah.
sure, charge
Yeah,
me
like
an
bring
extra.
bring
40
Silph on
bucks,
Filter back.
fine.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly. If you
So-
bring something like that back and you put in the time and effort, people will vote with their wallets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something though, and this is not mentioned because we know it's not coming for Game Pass. We don't know still if it's gonna come, but we cross our fingers. Wait till the day comes soon. But hey,
Don't
man,
jinx it.
that Callisto Protocol we saw.
Oh,
Oh man,
Oh.
dear Lord, that's something that seriously.
That's
That was
the day one for what, even if it doesn't come.
If it doesn't come to
Yeah.
Game Pass, they went for me too. That's a beautiful game, beautiful,
Yes.
awesome. It's like if I wanted a game of the thing, that's the thing for me right there. It's just it's like if John Carpenter did that game. I'm just happy about it.
Yes. Yeah. Plume, are you going to play Callisto Protocol? That was actually one I hadn't listed on there since we were talking mainly Game Pass, but is that one that you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, from what they showed off, and this is somebody who hasn't played Dead Space, so like even from what they've showed, they showed it off. They showed like the way that the guy would like died and like the gore and just like the darkness of it. I was like, damn, how did I miss out on Dead Space? I actually started playing Dead Space right away on my Xbox with backwards compatibility. So I'm gonna try to get through like at least what is there 3 Dead Spaces?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to get through them before that comes out, so I can jump right into that.
The thing I'll tell you right off the bat, just as a quick tip, is on number 3 there is co-op available. If you have a buddy that you would love to play a co-op game with, I would strongly recommend playing that game co-op. Because just on its own, especially as you're doing the boss battles and stuff, they get to be a little the enemies are kind of spongy when you get to the boss battles. And so if you have someone that you can enjoy just playing that game through with and have some laughs, that will help a lot.
Yeah, because the third one didn't do as well as the first two.
No, it was at that point. Again, we talk about microtransactions earlier and stuff, and that was at the point where EA was like, "Hey, we could like sell people a bunch of weapon skins and upgrades and stuff like that." And that on its own was kind of gross, but the co-op thing was such a stand apart from like the other 2 games, because 1 and 2 were only single player. So then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you're doing this co-op. It just wasn't received very well. Like it takes a lot of that scare away from the game. So it becomes more of like, your third person over the shoulder action instead of more of a horror based game.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's crazy to me. EA literally had Glenn Schofield right in with them, who was making Dead Space. Wasn't the story he just wanted to make another one and they just kept saying no, so he went off and did his own thing?
That was definitely part of it, from what I understand, is like they basically, as we've seen EA do a few times, and I'm not going to doggy pile too hard, but EA has squandered creativity more than at least once or twice or a dozen times over the last couple generations. And that was a prime example, is like he voiced that he wanted more of that. And they were like, well, this isn't making the money we want, so you're going to do what we want. And he's like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else then.
Yeah, it's funny.
Sorry, go
I was gonna say it's funny because they're making the remake now. So
I know.
Yeah,
it's funny how everything comes full circle.
They're gonna see how much money Callisto Protocol makes. They're gonna be like kicking themselves for not letting him to go on and make it Dead Space 4.
Well, especially because they're coming out really strong and very much advertising as, hey, it's Glenn Schofield's Callisto Protocol. Yeah. Which, like, and every time
also, right? Yeah. Silent, like, there's no, like, I don't see what's the big holiday game.
There's not really much there. So I mean,
it's a great time to release it.
Yeah. That game, especially if it's just a solid single player campaign in there, even if it just has some replay value or if it's a little bit longer, that thing could rule the holiday season pretty easily.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, you think about it, like I said, I haven't played Dead Space, but for me, it was the highlight of Summer Games Fest. Like for that show, by far, Callisto Protocol was the highlight. And I'm sure there are, I don't know, millions, maybe hundreds of thousands of other people out there who are watching it who haven't played Dead Space and saw that game, or like, I'm getting that day one. So
yeah, they they always say that first impressions are everything, and that game, from when they first introduced it, was on point. Like even though the first teaser for that was very teaser territory, you had a feeling that with Glenn Schofield included, that it was going to be a good thing. And
the very first one was, I think it was alright, but then when they showed the second trailer, I think that's when it really,
the gameplay stuff that they showed off,
and then the game, oh my god, oof.
Yeah. But
Okay.
all right, well, so we're going to move right into the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Obviously, we're not going in these in order, but where those were the ones that were kind of smaller, I figured we'd get those out of the way first. Um, the Xbox Bethesda showcase had all sorts of stuff. Now, obviously the internet, Twitterverse was very heated on this one. There was a lot of opinion back and forth. Uh, whatever whatever side you land on, I think the thing that we can all agree on is the fact that there were 33 games shown overall, roughly
Oof.
right around there. So even though maybe they weren't your favorite games, they had the numbers. And maybe it's not a game that necessarily everyone was into, but the level of diversity they had in the games is impressive. Like personally, for myself, I'll get myself out of it real fast, but I was not very impressed personally, and that wasn't necessarily because of the games that were shown. There were ones that I wasn't really keen on myself. I feel like the advertising for it, the communication and the messaging going into this, I felt like it was going to be a lot bigger on the first party side. And then as time went on and after the show happened, I saw their lineup of all the games on that little sheet, and it said targeting 12-month window and stuff like that. And so, like it makes sense. Was it the strongest showcase that they've had? No. Was it the worst showcase they've had? No, not by any means. There are cool things that are coming. I am very excited about stuff like Starfield, Redfall. I'm very conflicted in the fact that showing those felt like an extra, apologies, I'll get a little dark on it, but like it felt like a little extra nut punch when it's like, hey, check out this awesome game that you're not going to play for even longer now, which was a bummer. But that being said, going into it, so obviously we had Redfall, we had Hollow Knight, we had High on Life, which looked amazing, Plague Tale Requiem, Forza Motorsport, again, which looked really good, Flight Simulator's 40th anniversary, where we got to see that they had, what was it? They had the Halo ship.
The
Pelican,
The Pelican, yeah.
Maverick, everything. Ooh.
Which I believe the Pelican
Awesome.
thing was the only available right now shadow drop across the whole thing.
Let me see something real quick. I also got
Sure.
my own plane. It's called St. Louis. Oh.
Anyways, moving forward.
I got my own plane in the game. Yep.
So they showed Overwatch, Era History Untold, Elder Scrolls Online High Isle. They had some more detail on that. Fallout 76, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels, Arc 2 showed up again,
Yes.
reminding us once again that it's all about
family. And you know what? you remember the other day they were thinking about mixing up Vin Diesel with Jurassic Park, Fast and the Furious and Jurassic Park. That's where they got their idea from Arc 2. Seriously, I read about that.
Yeah. Okay.
They wanted to mix that movie up. Yep.
Scorn, of
Yes.
which inappropriate
Yes.
body parts were being removed from their body.
Yes, I love Scorn.
Flintlock, we had Minecraft Legends, Light Your Frontier, so many games. But the thing that I really want to get to with you guys is what drew your attention ultimately with this showcase? Did you like the showcase? Now with a few days past, obviously, what would you rate this thing? So, Plume, go for it. What do you got?
So I overall thought it was a solid showcase for what they were trying to do. I gave it a grade, I'd say like a B. Like I give it a B, B plus, around that range.
Sure.
For me, it's like the showcase last year, to me, to a lot of people, I think was probably their best showcase they've ever done. But at the same time, we're in a time now where we looked at that showcase and they showed off a bunch of games we're probably not getting for another 2, 3, potentially 4 years. And everyone came out, complained about that, and they said that we want to see gameplay because they didn't show too much gameplay. It was all CGI. So they come back with the showcase this year and they say like, these are games coming out that you're getting on Xbox Game Pass in the next 12 months. Here is just a ton of gameplay to show you what these games actually are, not just this random concept in your mind that you're going to think of and get excited about. And then when the game comes out, it's not going to meet those expectations. So I think like overall, for what they were trying to do, they did a good job. And for me personally, like you listed a bunch of games. Every time I think about what they showed off at this showcase, I have to go back to the list because there were so many of games that I will want to play. Obviously, the main ones will be Redfall. Like that game was like mid-tier for me. Now it's like up from what they showed off with that.
Yeah.
It looks great for me. It looks way more polished than I thought it was going to look because they delayed it. And just the fact that they have a single player experience within Redfall to me has me excited. I like playing games with people, but with a busy schedule, sometimes you just want to jump in and you want to experience this stuff, right?
Yes.
So Redfall having that single player experience is just absolutely perfect for me. So it's up there now. They showed off like that Flintlock game that you mentioned. That looks great to me. We'll see more about that obviously in the future before it comes out. High on Life. High on Life is probably one of the biggest surprises of the entire show.
That was a big surprise.
Yeah. And I'm extremely excited to play that. It's going to be fun. It looked like it had great gameplay. The writing's going to be incredible because it comes from like the Rick and Morty people and stuff. So High on Life, just a complete surprise. When they talked about the Valorant stuff, or not Valorant, the Riot stuff, sorry. Like that.
Yes.
Oh,
who saw that coming? Whether you're into Riot games or not.
Yeah,
I guess
that was a big surprise. Yeah,
that's big for a grip of audience, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like for me, I play Valorant, so it's cool that I'm gonna get all the champions or whatever they're called, legends, or whatever, without having to pay more than my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. I believe that's how it works. So that's great. But just in general, that's such a huge announcement. And if you don't play Riot games, you don't care. But in the grand scheme of like the industry and the subscription model and gaming, that's gonna bring over so many people to Xbox Game Pass, which at the end of the day just gives more money to a huge corporation, yes, but gives us more games because they're gonna have more money to get more games onto the service, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
So there's all that stuff. Then like the Persona announcement, those games have been out forever everywhere else, but that's huge for Xbox because it hasn't been on Xbox yet. I know I'm rambling on here, but basically what I'm trying to say is I think like for what they were trying to do, show us gameplay, give us the value of Xbox Game Pass between now and the next 12 months, and I feel like people forget that the next 12 months ends in June 2023, so there could be some huge first-party Xbox Game Studio games coming out in the holiday of 2023. I have so many games to play, so for me it was a solid B, and then Starfield obviously, and again Starfield. Starfield looks incredible to me. I've been arguing with my friend for the last I don't know how many days since they had the showcase. He thought it looked bad. He said the Thousand Planet things was a bad idea, and I've been just going back and forth with them. Yeah, No Man's Sky. So it's just
we'll definitely talk about that. That's its own topic.
Yeah,
that's literally its own topic.
Because that on its own could be good if implemented right, but could be disastrous if we see an example of like a No Man 1.0, like way back in the day.
Yeah. So the way I interpret it was just basically they're just giving us that choice to go and just people may not even play the main quest. They may just literally explore, and they're giving, because it's like Bethesda, right? The RPG, it's you're the gamer in there. It's your game. You do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
And they're just giving people that choice. And I'm assuming they're going to have like a decent amount of planets that are highly fleshed out where the main core of the game is going to take place, where it's going to be really well written, great dialogue options. I think they said they had over like 200,000 dialogue options in like an interview the other day, something like crazy like that. So I don't know.
Yep.
To me, solid B. It was a good show. Obviously they didn't show off any first party Xbox Game Studios games, which just says that we're not getting them in the next 12 months. So
that was actually something. Just you mentioned the 200,000 lines of dialogue. That was an interesting thing that I was not aware of until today, but they were talking about it. I think Mr. Matty Plays was actually discussing it. The fact that it was like 150,000 about 6 months ago. So the fact that you got another like 50,000 lines put into that sucker over the last little bit, like that's
insane.
impressive. Yeah,
I think
like
Fallout 3 had like 60 or Fallout 4.
I think it was
Something
60,
like that, yeah.
65 or something. Yeah.
So adding
Hours?
50 to it. No, dialogues.
No dialogue.
Dialogues?
Dialogue.
50,000, like 60,000. So adding 50,000 to the already 150.
Big.
That's big.
That's big.
That's big, yeah,
Especially when you consider what we found out over the last couple of days, the fact that the protagonist does not have any actual, stuff himself as far as like
Yeah.
spoken lines.
I mean,
So that's pretty
that's-
wild.
Like,
But
it's like-
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, good. That's all good.
We'll definitely that's its own topic right there. I
Yep.
definitely want to talk Starfield.
Yep. It's one long topic.
So we'll bounce over to Crazy, since now
Yes.
you're the next one in line now, since
Okay.
Sour left the picture earlier. So
All right.
Crazy,
What's up, bud?
what jumped out at you? What was your favorite moment of that conference, and what would you give it as a rating at this point, with a few days past to kind of marinate on it?
Let me tell you something, for example. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Redfall. When I saw the Redfall gameplay, I was like, whoa. I mean, literally, I just saw Blade. I was like, dun, 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 dun. You know the Blade song? It just kept on repeating in my head. Every time when the vampires disintegrated, I was like, yeah, there's Blade right there, kicking butt. Oh man! And then the Blade Trilogy. And when you see all the other characters, then the Blade Trinity song came into my head. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play this game. Redfall looks fantastic.
Yeah, Redfall
Oh
looks,
my
looks
god!
good.
It looks
Unfortunately,
freaking awesome.
I had already seen gameplay,
Yeah.
so I kind of knew where it was going. But
Insider.
Yeah, insider. Yeah, he's the man. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Like, if you ask me if I rate the show, I say this again and tell people, if you ask me, how do you rate the Xbox Bethesda show? Real easy. For me, on the first content side, I give it a 6 out of 10. That's how I what's it called?
rate it.
Rate it, yeah.
Mhm.
That's how I rate it. 6 out of 10, right?
Okay.
Why did I rate it 6 out of 10? Because I was expecting more content. But the content that they did show was really good. I mean, look at that Forza Motorsport. That was just beautiful. I mean, seriously, everything about the detail, all about that stuff was just, it was
Yeah.
mind blowing. I mean, your mouth open. Redfall. You also got, what else did they show? The whole Microsoft Flight Simulator was just beautiful. All of that stuff was pretty awesome. And last but not least, which we get into it later on, is the Starfield. But yeah, also that it has me really happy because I did play it once and I was waiting for it just to be finished to actually sit down and play it and beat it. Was that we are finally getting grounded. I mean, we're getting
Yeah.
a 1.0
Yeah.
1.0
yes.
version, which is something that has me really excited and I cannot wait to play it. Grounded is a fantastic game. It's actually one of their best ideas because I mean, it brings me back to when I was a kid. I was like, dude, I am playing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on Xbox. You remember when you saw that movie? You remember the ant and all that stuff? Oh, that was just amazing.
I just love Obsidian. So
And not only that, I mean, I hope Obsidian does listen to me. So Obsidian, listen to me. Put the scorpion in. We need the scorpion. That way, it would be totally Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, that's just crazy. Just looking at that, the spider fights, everything. It's fantastic. It's awesome. But yeah, out of all of that stuff, I'm happy about. Also, they showed Diablo 4, which is really amazing. Diablo 4
Diablo 4 looked good.
is also another game that has me hyped up and crazy. It's just insane. And what else? The Personas are coming. I'm not a big fan of Persona because I mean I bought Persona. What was it? Well, I forgot how many Personas are there because it's like Final
5.
Fantasies. They're like
It's like,
200.
yeah, 5.
Well, there's also like the fighting,
different
like
versions.
the
Yeah.
different versions, and there's a
I
bunch of different stuff.
bought Persona 5. Only played 1 hour of it, and I said no, this is not for me. I didn't continue it. That was like the worst $60 I
That's-
spent. On
That's
my
going to
opinion.
make you really sad because number 5 is the first one coming to Game Pass.
Oh, no. Persona 5 Royale is different. There's Persona 5.
Oh,
and there's
Royale. Okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes.
It's different.
Yes.
I never played the Royale version, but the Persona 5 I played, I was like, nah. But then all the other stuff, I mean, Scorn. I cannot wait for Scorn. I mean, I've been craving for that game since I saw it because it's when I saw it, I was like Prometheus,
Yes.
all the way
100%.
Prometheus. Yes, it's freaking awesome. And what else? The Naraka Blade Point, which we will get to later on because I don't want to wait till we jump into the extended version to talk about it.
Mhm.
But that Naraka, like you can put your face on it. That's pretty cool. That way I can make
That's
Sourboy
cool.
player. We can make Sourboy player and get him killed a couple times, get revenge on him. Yep.
It's gonna be
And
a sexy
Make,
player.
I can make Jim Ryan and make him wear a headset. And...
The headphones. Oh,
Sorry.
also,
Too
also,
soon. Okay.
also,
all right.
also a Plague Tale Requiem, which I'm happy they're gonna get.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna get a showcase on June 23, and I can't wait to see that because they're gonna announce the release date. That's the game I'm actually waiting for, and it looks
Oh, yes.
fantastic. And what the biggest news of them all, which people have not talked about, and it's something that people should actually talk about because it's huge. Seriously, League of Legends on Game Pass. I mean,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, "What the?" I was not
Yeah.
gonna say the word.
If
I said, "These guys grabbed League of Legends on Game Pass. That's freaking crazy."
For all the
I mean,
characters.
and all the characters, everything into that game into Game Pass. That is insane. I mean, seriously, that like I was saying the other day, it's like World of Warcraft. League of Legends is as popular as World of Warcraft was. More popular, of course, now, but damn, it's a really popular game. And when I saw it, I was like, whoa. I mean, that literally broke everything right there for me. That was my highlight. High on Life also was a cool, awesome game, which I will talk about it later in the extended version. But yeah, it was freaking crazy. All of that, I love the art too. I never played Ark, and when I saw Vin Diesel, I was like, "Oh, here we go." That they're getting a new Fast and the Furious. Vin
Vin
Diesel thing.
all
Vin Diesel
about-
said real gamers will be excited for Arc 2. So
Exactly. Yeah.
gotta be excited for it.
Dude, that's
Of course.
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
nothing that ramps me up and stokes me so much more about a video game than when a talking head comes out and says, "Real gamers are gonna play this game." That makes me so
I
excited.
wonder how many games Vin Diesel has played.
Oh,
Here's the thing. I'll just say it real fast, but it really bums me out because
um,
he had Tygon
Yep.
Studios that made The Wheelman, that made the awesome Escape from Butcher Bay, part
Yeah,
of the Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, incredible.
yep.
And
I have
he
the copy of
just-
that still.
Yeah, right. And that's
Okay.
I'm sure there's some legalese and some issues that lock that one up
Mhm.
because it was part of Vivendi Universal at the time.
Yep.
But man, that feels like it's a missed opportunity right there.
Like for me, seriously, that's if instead of an Ark, I would have made another Riddick. Riddick
dude,
deserves.
yeah,
Riddick needs another
100%.
game. 100%.
I don't care if you give me just a remaster of the original. I know we're talking about getting away from remasters, but if you gave me a remaster of that, I would pay for it.
Yeah, I would too.
Because
Because
it's
I
been
didn't
long enough.
play it. I played it for like a little while, but I didn't beat it. So it's one of those games where I will actually buy to beat it.
The thing is with that though, Arc at the end of the day, have a bigger fan base, and
Yeah,
I believe Xbox also is
But-
paying for part of the
But it's not-
development. They're helping
but-
them with that, and they
Yeah.
probably were like Arc is it's kind of
But-
game
yeah,
of a
but-
service.
But
And
but
here's my thing. Vin Diesel has all those Fast and Furious bucks, all those
Yeah.
dollar dues. He could make that game out of his own budget. Like he could invest in that and make that game just off
And
of
it-
what he probably has.
And it will sell like crazy because seriously, Riddick is like it's pretty much something you want because Riddick is got.
you guys say
loads of
that,
crazy
but
story.
when you have the more money people have, the more money they want.
No? Well,
That's how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They should make it. They should make a new Chronicles of Riddick. They
Oh
deserve
yeah,
it.
no, I agree with that, but
Or make
Yeah.
the remake, and after he sees that he goes on there and he sells a lot more because people are gonna buy it because it's a game that people love.
it won't
I
make
said-
more money than Arc. Trust me.
It's sour. Here's the thing,
Speaking,
though.
no,
Here's the
no, no, no.
here's the
I
here's
feel like we could go way too far into the weeds on this if we
Yeah,
have.
but I'll tell you something though. Arc did not serve a part two. Arc just should have been like Destiny. Just put content into it. They
No,
did
no,
not
I
need that.
agree. I agree. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's how things work.
yeah. All right,
Crazy,
but okay. What's up?
crazy.
What's up?
I
Arc
love
was one
your.
of the only games that they didn't show gameplay for. They just had a CGI trailer.
Yeah.
They keep showing us that CGI, and it's like it's all about family, but family must be
Yeah.
really ugly because we're not seeing the gameplay of family. So, um,
So
so crazy. I value your opinion. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you have a strong opinion on this. But Sour, I want to hear your opinion
well,
about this.
can I get one last shot one before we go to the sour? For me, the whole show, if you rate it as a whole show, like I said, 6 out of 10 first party content. But for the whole
Just
show, for
cheating.
me,
Just give it a score.
no.
I'm just
I'm
kidding. Go
talking.
ahead.
But for the if like I look at it in a different way, like I'm gonna sit down and just look at it and just watch games, I give it an 8 out of 10. Seriously, 8 out of 10. That's my point on that show. First
Yeah,
content, 6 out of 10, but 8 out of 10 on everything they put on.
Yeah,
That's my score.
I think it still very much runs into the messaging and communication of the
Yeah.
show. If they had stated it properly, just right out the bat, like, I get that some people are going to be disappointed, but if you say, hey, man, this is the Microsoft and Bethesda Game Studio presents
Yeah.
third party and indie game showcase. If you had
Yeah.
said that and then said, and there's a few first party games in there, I think that would have been just fine. It would have tempered expectations. But
I'll t-
sour.
yeah, oh, sour.
What is your take on this? What was something? What were a few that jumped out at you in this showcase? And what, after a few days have gone by, what would you score it now?
Okay. Well, I kind of agree with you with, I think they should have messaged the showcase before it went live. I mean, they could have mentioned this show is going to be focused on the next 12 months. And I think I would have went towards the show with a entirely different, expectation, because they have already accustomed us with the previous two showcase, which I think they were great. I also think this was a great show too. However, I went with an entirely different expectation. I was expecting that many of the games we had seen previously, we would maybe see again, see some updates, and I was expecting, a big heavy hitter, banger showcase from Xbox games and Bethesda games, and that's kind of not what we got. However, I do like the approach that they're going with if they continue this, because 12-month period of games we're gonna get, you know, for the next 12 months. That's great, especially
Yeah.
when we know that eventually these games are gonna start to come, and I think 2023 is actually a year when these games are starting to come. So next year presentation, I think it's going to be great, and then from there on, it's only going to get better with the Activision Blizzard purchase.
Yes.
After a few days, I do think also that this showcase probably wasn't targeted to people like me and like everyone here.
Right. Right.
I think it was more targeted to other people, especially like PC player. If you think about it, you had the League of Legends, you had Arc, you had Flight Simulator update, and you had all these games that are more PC centric. Even Starfield, like you can say, sure, a lot of console players are hyped for it, but at the end of the day, that's more of a PC appealing game. And I think this showcase was heavily appealing to PC gamers. You had a bunch of strategy games, etc. So I get what they're doing, and I do love it. However, with the expectation I had, I kind of have to give it a 7.
Mhm.
That's what I give the showcase, a 7.
And did that change from your original score, or is that still the same as what you would have given it originally?
I think it was a 7 originally, yeah. And I was cut in between of giving it a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but I'll stick with 7.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to bounce on to the last topic, or yeah, I think the last topic.
Oh, one last thing before I
go
go
for
on.
it. Go for it.
For me, also, there was no like huge surprises. I think the
Yeah.
biggest surprise was probably what was the game
High on life.
High on Life, because it was something I wasn't really expecting, but like everything else shown, I was kind of expecting. The biggest like wow moment that I had was the Forza Motorsport. Even though I was expecting it, it
Yeah.
was, oh my god, it was mind blowing. Like when they
Yep.
showed the detail of the track, and then they show that part where all the cones, and that was amazing. And
That's-
then
Yep.
It's one of
One
those
thing-
moments too where when you got to see
Yeah.
that 4K trailer, my God,
oh
like
my god,
the stream didn't it
crazy.
did good, but it didn't do it justice.
yeah, didn't do it.
Let's be honest. I mean, the whole show would have been just about Forza. Silent Cypher would have given a 10 out of 10. We all know that.
No,
Yes,
I would have.
yeah.
No.
Yes, yes.
I'll before I pass it back over to Plume because I noticed he had something. I will say that if it were just Forza, I would only give it like a 5 or a 6 right now because you gave me a 2023 launch date, and I'm sorry, but there's not enough stuff at the end of
I
this
see.
year to make it worth giving me a higher score right now.
But what happened would have been this year? You would have given it 10 out of 10, right?
No, I would have probably given it like an 8 or a 9.
See ya.
I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm not going to
Anyway,
give it a 10. You gotta
another
go
like
there.
huge high moment for me was when they showed the scope of Starfield.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Like, I knew the game was gonna be big, but when they showed, okay, they showed the solar system. I was like, oh, okay, cool. We get to go around. But then when they said, oh, 100 systems, over 1,000 planets, I was like, whoa, they're going like Star Citizen like scale.
Yeah.
I was like, this is huge.
Yeah,
So,
they're not going. They're not going Star Citizen scale because Star Citizen doesn't exist. Again, stop comparing to Star Citizen.
Plume, what were you going to say?
I first of all, sorry for the dark lighting. It's just, I don't
No,
know why
you're
my legs
good.
are-
Oh no, it's fine.
You're fine.
But I was just gonna say, one of the surprises for me, which I think is pretty big, even though I know it's coming multi-platform, was that Wo Long game coming from
Yes.
Team
Yeah.
Oh
Ninja.
yes.
Kinda it
I don't
reminds
think
me back
it
to
was
like the
that.
360 game days when they got like Tenchu Z from Software, right? Where it's like
Ooh.
that was an exclusive 360 game, but like I feel like going from the Xbox One to the Series X and S, nobody would have expected a game like that to come over to Xbox on Game Pass on day one. I think that's a pretty big get, even though it is multi-platform.
Yeah, I do think that that was actually a really nice surprise, and they did target it. I think it was perfect timing also to target the Japanese audience, because I believe the previous week was the first week in years that they outsold PlayStation in Japan, or I don't know if it was the first time. So
Yeah. It
perfect
was
timing for that.
and they had sold like
Would've done it a
10,000
couple-
units or something the first
Yeah.
time since forget when it was, but it was pretty big for Xbox there.
I'm curious to see what's gonna happen now that they saw the showcase, if that would affect anything. And last thing I gotta say, something that impressed me that I gotta give a shout out. Hold on, I gotta look the name out real quick because I always forget the name, but I thought this game was pretty cool. It's the 2D game. What is it?
Oh, you
The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
Last
god,
Case
that
of
game!
Alex.
That game really looked good.
Yeah, it did. It did. So, all right. Well, so we're going to jump on to the very last topic, which Sour, you're going to be covering this one a little bit for me, pitch hitting as it is, in the fact that I unfortunately did not get to catch up on all this showcase since it happened yesterday. I know, sad faces, frowny faces. Life's been busy. Hopefully I can get to it this weekend. But Sour, do you want to talk about the Xbox Bethesda extended showcase?
Sarah, can I grab this one instead of you? Can I grab it? Because seriously, I have so much things to say about this. Can I grab it?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, let me tell you something though. Anna, this extended showcase really helped out a lot the first one. I mean, it shows so much stuff that a lot of us weren't like waiting for. It shows so much amazing stuff. They'd explain, for example, the knockout blade point. They gave it a deep dive, which was really fantastic. Also, they talked a lot more about Starfield, which is pretty cool. The Rick and Morty co-creator, all those guys discussed on the whole high on life, and something that just seriously got me really happy is that Valheim is coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass. It's a
Yes.
game
Yep.
that's pretty much it's like an RTS survivor. That's pretty amazing. They talked about, like I said, they talked about Redfall, Fallout, Starfield. They pretty much talking about everything. Aura, Aura, the history untold. They show so much of that it actually got me interested.
Mhm.
And also, they talk about the slime. There's also going to be the Slime Rancher too, which is only coming to Xbox, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And we saw this everywhere. Fall Guys, which we know we saw it pretty much even. I think didn't they show Fall Guys everywhere? In every show there was Fall Guys has
They,
been going
yeah,
has been
they showed Fall Guys. I mean,
yeah
that's been a big thing for a
yeah
while, and obviously
yeah
they finally announced it. They
yeah.
was going to be coming to Xbox and a bunch of other systems and stuff. Finally,
Yep. They
um,
they,
yeah,
they also show the Pentiment, which I saw and I'm like, okay, at least it's coming to Game Pass, so give it a shot. Because that's one of those games that when I saw it on the first showcase, I was like, yeah, that story was like,
I think they
I'll
should.
try it, but
I think they should have
yeah,
teased it in the main show and then
like
show it in the extended
it's
version because
it's just
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
it is
yeah,
Josh Sawyer, so I am gonna try it.
you
He's an
know,
yeah,
excellent writer,
yeah.
yeah,
and it to be honest, it might be one of the best games this year. To be
yeah,
honest,
yeah,
like that you might see it like that, but the
So,
thing
yeah.
is the art, the style, it's not very appealing.
Yep. Also, the thing that I saw that pretty much also got me a little bit interested after I saw pretty much them talking about it, which I will rewatch the show again because I'm gonna sit down and rewatch it because I watched it on Tuesday with Dutch and his team. Is the A Dust Falls, as the Dust Falls, sorry. And that game pretty much is a social experience game which you get to play with 8 players. So I saw that and I was like, this looks pretty interesting. I mean, just the way it is, like you get 8 people making decisions and stuff like that. It seems like a fun game. And it's something that I will try when it finally comes out. Also, Master Chief is coming to Fall Guys. That was pretty funny. We saw Sour Blow as a grunt right there. We saw you, Silent Sapphire, with your helmet on. No, that actually we saw Boxing Burger. Yeah, we saw Boxing Burger.
hey,
Yeah,
no, you saw
we saw
Master
Boxing.
Burger.
We saw Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded so wrong in my head.
Anyways,
Also, what was also pretty amazing is the way they discussed the flight simulator thing. That was pretty awesome too. Just everything that discussed on that show. And the best part, which really got me excited. Oh my god, it just wanted to make me take off my shirt. You cannot believe it, which I'm actually
Barbie
gonna do.
Wild Horse Adventures 2.
No, not that. When I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacres coming to Game Pass, when I was like, ah! I wanted to take out my shirt. I just kept making go insane.
Demonetized.
yeah, yeah.
Man,
I looked away.
Oh man, when I saw that, I got hyped, man. I was like, "Damn!" Going crazy. I was like, "Damn, that's coming day one in Game Pass." That was for me. That was the best thing out of the whole show, man. Seriously, just seeing that got me excited because Silent, me and you love Friday the 13th games and all that stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre going day one on Game Pass. That is freaking fantastic. But again, like I said, this show really helped out a lot the other one. And something we didn't discuss, and Mr. Joanna Dark said about Kojima jumping on the show. This is where Kojima should have jumped on this day because it would have been perfect for this day since it was all about talking games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It would have
I,
been perfect for that.
well,
day.
I think the whole Kojima thing is,
Yeah.
they kind of wanted to make an impact, and at the end of the day, Kojima himself is a big announcement, even though it's it's not that big for me, but I know what he represents for the industry, and especially them trying to break into the Japanese audience. I know how big it was for them, so yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
Um,
everything about the whole show, the second show was huge. I mean, I really loved it, and it made
it was
the
pretty
show a
cool.
lot better. It was pretty cool, especially the Naraka blade point. I mean, after we saw that, like you can make your own character face and all that stuff. That's pretty amazing. Seriously, it was.
Yeah, yeah, definitely
I
was
love
good.
I love how they used Phil Spencer's picture for that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was good
Yeah.
stuff.
But the I think the very big part of the showcase, and a part that got me actually very emotional, was at the very end when they
Yep.
showed the Stalker team video, and they show all the things that they have been going through in order to bring us this game, which is it's very spectacular that one, Microsoft had the courage to actually put that out, because not every company would actually do something like this.
Yep.
So
I agree.
applause to them, and
Yep.
also a heavy applause on the developers, that even though they have been going through all these unfortunately things that are going around in the world, they're still working hard in this game, and they were able to pull out a trailer for us. It's
Yeah.
pretty spectacular that they were
Not,
able to do that. I actually
not,
had tears in my eyes.
I mean, I was really sad because really, I mean, everybody thought they pulled out the whole team, and no, they didn't. I mean, still, there's still a lot of the teams not only living there, also they're fighting against Russia. I mean,
Yes.
some of them came on the presentation and say, "Hey, I'm this guy from I did this on the game," and he was actually dressed up in his soldier gear with a machine gun in hand, and it was a pretty sad moment. I mean, seriously, that's when I saw that. I'm with you, Sour. I mean, I was like, "Whoa, this is pretty amazing in the way that how these guys they actually pulled part of the team out, and they are still doing what they're still doing their game even though they're in a war, they're in a fight. I mean, there was one of them that was talking about that he could be sitting down his computer design, and all of a sudden he hears the alarm and he's running down to his bomb shelter. There's
Yeah.
another one sleeping in such a tight space.
Well, there
It's
was one of them. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you, crazy.
yeah,
There was one of them that he doesn't know about his parents. Like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
that that was pretty heartbreaking.
That was pretty heartbreaking, yeah. And again, pats on the back. And even though it's coming to Game Pass, I will support the team and I will buy the game. I'm
Yeah.
gonna support them.
I hope they even come with a like collector edition with something. I would probably get that for that game, definitely.
Yeah, they definitely
You know,
deserve it.
honestly, it would be cool if they even just did something like uh in like the vein of some of these other games, like even just give me like a cool like replica gas mask or something. Something
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that'd be kind of
something
cool to
like that
have
would,
up on the wall
yeah,
next to everything else.
yeah,
Like,
that'd be cool.
I don't know.
yep.
That's
Well,
very
it will
touristy of
it
me,
will
I guess.
actually go pretty good with your collection, Silent.
It would. I know it would, right? Sorry, I always forget that it's the
Oh,
opposite.
there is actually a horror character that wears the gas mask. Isn't it the Valentine? Something Valentine's
Oh
is called.
yeah, yeah, My
Yeah,
Bloody Valentine.
my bad.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
you can use that. There you go.
Great movie. Great movie.
Great movie too. Yeah, great slasher.
So
But yeah,
anyway,
sour, jump onto it. So I want to hear your take real quick on this as well.
oh, the extended version, I
Yeah.
think it definitely added to it,
Mhm.
and I also love that you kind of with the name had a certain expectation, the extended showcase, so you expected it to be the extended version of of the original
Mhm.
showcase, so you didn't expect it much, and you got a nice few small surprises.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're a PC player, again, the showcase, like I said, was probably targeted more to PC player. You got Valheim, which is a pretty big game for PC
yeah,
players, and it was pretty nice surprises all around, and it was nice to see the developers go into detail and talk more about the game. So I hope they keep doing it. I give this showcase probably a 8 or a 9 even, because it covered my expectation, and it maybe went a little bit over, unlike the first showcase, which didn't meet my expectations.
Sure, sure. So Plume, did you get a chance to watch this one? What jumped out at you?
Yeah, no, I watched it. The big thing that jumped out at me was well, two things. Like, I'm with Crazy Louie on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming to Game Pass. I think
Yeah,
that's awesome. Like, it's a multiplayer game. It's gonna fit
yeah.
right into Game Pass. It's gonna
Oof.
be a ton of fun. Um, Valheim, I've never played. I have a bunch of buddies who play that game and they love it. So that's cool that that's coming over to Game Pass as well. So I may end up checking that out just because I have some friends that play it. But I think the big highlight for me was just when Pete Hines was there talking about the Redfall and Starfield and giving us more
Yeah.
information on everything. When he talked about, um, he just reiterated that Starfield's an epic RPG and that it's an RPG where you do what you want to do in the game. It's your game. It's you. You want to explore. You want to do the main quests. You want to just fly around and stuff. It's up to what you want to do. And I think for Starfield, when they showed that off, that's what I was expecting. That's what I was hoping. And then Pete Hines kind of confirming that stuff, I think was great. And whenever you listen to him talk, I Todd Howard's awesome, right? But I feel like Pete Hines is just like I don't know. There's something about him when he's speaking. He's just so passionate about everything. You just really like you're listening to every word he's saying when he's talking about the games that Bethesda's working on. So I really love the Pete Hines part about the extended showcase. That was the highlight.
Speaking of Starfield, that is a perfect transition because that is actually the very last thing we're going to touch base on real quick for the night before we let you out of here and let you get away from Crazy and his shenanigans this evening.
I'm not drunk yet.
So Sour, I'm going to let you roll this off first. You can kind of guide it how you want. I want to see what you want to say about Starfield and
what was
shifted. What's that?
Star what? No Man's what?
Star Citizen?
What? No Man's what?
Star Wars?
Well, anyway, for everyone that listens to the show, it's no secret. I'm a big, space fan. I'm a big space fanatic, and this game I'm super hype. It's finally it's to me it's the Star Citizen I never got, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm super hyped for the game. I think the game did show a little rough in some areas. There were areas where the frame looked like, but it's only a trailer, so I'm fine with that. And I believe when they showed the new Atlantis, when they originally showed like the trees and stuff, they looked kind of weird. Um, but other than that, I just loved everything they showed. Maybe the combat could improve a little bit too,
No,
but
the comment in the game is actually way better. I mean, I think Dutch called on it, and he said that the combat looks way better. Like the way when you shoot the people, how they move after you shoot them, and all that stuff. The reflexes, it's really good.
I mean, the AI
it shows
interaction
better.
was it shows better than Fallout, but I still think I still think like when you hit the enemy, like it still doesn't have that great feel. But at the end of the day, is a role playing game, so maybe I'm being a little bit too too ambitious or too greedy, but there are so many things. Sorry.
Let's be honest. You just wanted Star Citizen to come out. You just being mean to Starfield because you wanted it to be
No.
Starfield.
I'm just.
Yeah. No, we get you. No worries.
I'm just looking at my perspective.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit greedy with games, but anyway, I
Mhm.
still loved what I saw. I love the customization. I love all the traits. How you
Yeah.
pick the different. You pick the factions. Also, like the ship customization. Oh my god, it was insane. Like you can basically build the ship you want. Even like when I looked at the details, because I have seen this trailer like so many times. I don't even know if I can count how many times I've seen it. Like if you look at the colors, like they literally give you like a full palette where you cannot not only can you choose like if you want a yellow ship, no, you can use different grades of yellow. Like it's insane the customizations you will have in this game. Um, all
Mine, mine
the
will be the pretty pink ship. That's what mine will be called.
Of course
Pretty
it will.
pink ship. Heck
Of
yeah.
of course, yeah.
I wouldn't
It's
expect anything less crazy.
more than 200,000 dialogues. Like
Yeah.
everything about this game, like how ambitious this game is. I wasn't expecting like over 100 system. Like I was expecting just one system, and that you can go to every planet, etc. But it was pretty impressive. And from the leaks that supposedly the ship combat wasn't good, I thought from what I saw, I thought it was pretty decent. The ship combat I saw, I actually liked the ship combat from what I saw more than the actual you know first person shooter combat that I saw. I thought it was pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm super hyped for this game. I'm just gonna pass it on because I can probably talk all night about this game.
So
No,
we'll
you no,
we'll,
you
we'll
were being
bounce
mean
it
to it.
over. Crazy. We're gonna bounce it over to our guest real quick. So
Yeah, yeah.
Plume, what do you think about Starfield? What was your take on everything we saw?
For Starfield, the biggest thing that popped out at me that as a negative, I think, was like the FPS stuff. I think
Mhm.
everybody saw that, right?
Yeah,
It
everyone
just
saw it.
it was just like maybe that's why they're delaying it so they can polish that out. But it is again a Bethesda game. Bethesda games generally release with a bunch of like little things that aren't great, like with the FPS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. For Starfield, what I was expecting was just this massive, big open world space RPG where you do whatever you really want to do. Like that's what you kind of expect from Bethesda games when you think about their big RPGs. And I feel like they delivered on that. The 1,000 planets thing. You have the argument that they're going to have 1,000 planets. A lot of them are going to be procedurally generated, which are going to make for like these blank planets where there's not going to be a lot of life form and all this type of stuff. But it's like nobody is forcing you to explore everything single
Yes, exactly.
1,000 planets, right? Like ask somebody who plays No Man's Sky. They did that comparison with No Man's Sky, right? Ask somebody who plays No Man's Sky, and if they would like to just fly around and explore and try out all these different planets and see what's there and get resources and build their ships and build their bases, I'm sure. I'm not a No Man's Sky fan. Like I'm not someone who plays a lot of No Man's Sky, but I'm sure that they would enjoy doing that. So they've kind of made this RPG where it's like, from what we've seen so far, it's your world. You do what you want. You pursue the main quest, or you go off and you venture out, and you could probably play this game for like 2-3 years and still have something to do almost every single day.
I think even more than that. Too, yeah.
Yeah, even more than that. I mean, look at Skyrim, right? They're still releasing it, and they're still like.
Yeah.
So my initial reaction to Skyrim to Starfield.
Yep.
I'm on beer 3, so I'm in. Anyways, to Starfield was, man, this looks great. And in terms of the combat, it was combat. It wasn't anything out of this world. One thing I did say, like if I was streaming it, the first thing I saw when with the gun combat was like that. I felt the animations for the enemies were pretty cool.
Mhm.
There was that one scene where like the guy shot him in the back and then he went up in the air.
Yeah,
and exploded.
that was pretty cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But I mean, I don't know. I think like overall, I think Starfield is going to be. I've said this in my videos too. If you go back to my channel, like I think Starfield, the reason why they're delaying it, and the reason why they're taking their time and not pushing out for that sexy release date is because they know that this has the potential to be like a generational game where people are playing it for the next 10 years, similar to Skyrim, and they don't want to screw that up. You look at what Cyberpunk potentially had. I think Cyberpunk could have been a generational game as well. They screwed it up. Yeah, and they don't want to go down those lines. So I'm pretty excited for Starfield, if you can't tell. Like I can't wait to jump into it. And I mean, I'm just gonna play it how I want. Maybe I'll only play the main quests, depending on how much time I have, or maybe I'll just literally fly around and discover new things. So I think it's pretty awesome that you're gonna be able to choose what you want to do and how you want to do it.
I totally.
So I'm gonna throw it to Crazy here in a second, but Crazy, you're gonna be my cocktail waiter for a second while I jump in and take a coach on what.
Okay. Oh, I had 2 things to add. I can do it later, or I can do it just
do it now.
Do it real quick. Do it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One other thing is,
if it's hate, you're gonna get cut off.
Little turbulence. We're fine. It's fine.
a little turbulence. Okay. Well, about the the whole planet things, like it would be insane that every planet is has people or has habitat. Like the every planet has there has to be some planets that it's kind of isolated. Not every planet has to have a whole bunch of environment. Like that's the point of a space game. So I think it's a little bit ridiculous that everyone is expecting that every planet has cities and all these stuff. Like, no, um, you
Yeah,
have
like
to have,
I've been going back and forth with my buddy on my local friend who's been arguing with me over and over again about the 1,000 planets thing. And I'm just like, there are going to be planets out there that are barren, just like if you think about space in real life, there are barren planets
yeah,
out there. It's a normal thing. You don't have to go visit those things, but I think people are really hung up on, like, I don't know, the Oblivions and the Fallout 3s and stuff, and then how Bethesda's kind of expanded out of that. So they just kind of want to see more of that, like, not linear, but you know what I mean, right? Like more focused experience with Starfield.
yeah, the thing with the whole thing is like, you know, you're gonna have a main story, which they already said is gonna be like about 30 to 40 minutes,
Yeah.
which is fine if you just want to tackle the story. But you know, those other planets
Whoa,
is,
whoa, whoa. 30 to 40 minutes. I want
I
my
mean, 30 to
$7
40
per hour.
hours. I'm sorry.
Wait, what? Wait, what? The game is gonna be 30,
He
40
said the
minutes?
campaign's going to be 30 to 40 minutes. It's going to be
Hours,
the
hours.
character
I'm sorry.
creation. And
Again,
that's
I'm
it.
telling
That's
you,
all you're gonna get.
I'm telling you,
I had 150 beers.
no, it's not 150 beers. No.
That's-
That's how long you play Star Citizen. That's the thing. You still got Star Citizen in your head because that's all
So,
you can play from Star Citizen.
so anyway, the only, another thing I wanted to add is like
Yeah.
people are so caught up in like the flight. Also, the thing is like there's so many great games. Like
You know,
you have Jedi Fallen Order. You don't go around flying in your ship, and that's an
Wait.
awesome game.
Yeah.
You also have
Okay.
Mass Effect. You don't go flying around in your ship. Like
leave that
people are
to
just
me.
criticizing this game just to criticize.
Yeah, just leave it to me.
So-
I'll get into that.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'm gonna sideline you, Louis. You're
Okay, go
you
for
went
it.
to the dormitory and the door got stuck, and you have to wait for someone to get you out while I talk.
Okay,
So, the thing that I did want to touch base on, because again, you guys mentioned the 1,000 planets and stuff like that, and I totally get the fear, right? Because it's like that feels like it could be the Mass Effect scenario where it was like, all right, that's cool, but we got like a whole bunch of planets that you go to that have nothing to do. No, this is me and my armchair dev scenario right here. This is me, pretending like I know how video games work. No, the thing that I would be very curious about, just diving into some stuff tech related. I wonder if there's a way if you could tie in like an ITTT, an if this then that scenario, into the procedurally generated planets. So if you come to the planet and it's raining, then you run into certain aliens or certain inhabitants of that planet, or certain plants or certain things, like in every instance. I just wonder if you could add like a if this then that scenario to your procedurally generated, if that would allow you to add more additional like variability to every planet that you go to. I don't know if that's a thing you can really do with it.
They did said that a lot of the planets they're gonna be procedure generated, but some of them they're gonna have certain places or certain aspect that they're gonna manually like retouch.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answers your question.
Not necessarily, but I do like the fact that they're adding some of those extra details. But I wonder if it would be a thing where like, if they had the ability to be like, okay, if it's raining, this certain flora and fauna or wildlife or something shows up depending on like what the scenarios are on the planet.
That would be cool. Well, one thing that I remember, the other thing I wanted to add was, I also think that one thing that they might be expecting to do is, they have a huge mod community. So what if a lot of these planets also, they're going to let, the community kind of add, and then, the ones that they do approve, they kind of just leave permanent in the game. Like that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. The mod stuff, like every 1,000 planets, you think about the amount of mods from the other Bethesda games. Like, I don't know. It's exciting to think about what people are going to be able to do. You know what I mean? It's just like having their own planet and developing just all this crazy stuff that you're going to be able to explore and fight and stuff. I think it's a great thing.
I think these consoles that they allow modding, don't they? The Series S and X. Okay, so that's gonna be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Fallout 4 and remind me, Skyrim, the Anniversary Edition, they both allowed for modding.
Yeah.
So it's you know, it's something they could do nowadays, which would be cool. The only negative, and again, I'm going to be the grouchy old man yelling at the sky for this one, but it really bums me out that they lock the achievements if you do something with mods. Because personally, like, there are some really cool graphics mods for Fallout 4 and Skyrim that I would love to utilize those, but they warn you as soon as you jump in, they're like, you're not going to get your achievements though. And I'm like, old Xbox 360 me wants those Chivos, and the fact that you're telling me I can't get those makes me so sad. But
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So crazy. Last but not least, what is your opinion on Starfield?
On Starfield. Well, let me tell you something. When I first see Starfield,
what?
No, I got
what? Nah, just kidding. Go ahead.
You know what? I got really excited because finally we got gameplay. What saddens me is how everybody just started saying, "Hey, it looks like No Man's Sky." Okay, and then we started saying the guy will not have a voice, and that is bad. How come we're in 2022 and the character does not have a voice? And then I asked that person who said that, "Hey, the dude from Elden Ring does not have a voice, and the game got a 10 out of 10."
Yeah.
So how is that bad? You know, okay, that's another thing. And the last but not least is the whole space travel thing. Who in hell is gonna grab a spaceship, travel from one planet to another to see what? Just the stars, all of that pitch dark stuff, or watch like an asteroid fly by you? I mean, seriously, you know, seriously. Okay. No, seriously. I mean,
seriously.
No.
My wife will. I'm telling you straight. My wife would do that.
If you want to do that, you have Flight Simulator where you travel from country to country and you get to see all that stuff out there.
No.
Not the same.
Dude, trust me.
But I understand.
But it's not that. But let me tell you something though. I mean, seriously, if that happens in the game, like if you're gonna travel, let's say it's gonna take you like 10 minutes to travel from planet to planet, it's gonna be like a huge waste. I mean, I'd rather it to have like a hyperspace thing and get to the planet like Star Wars, because that's what Star Wars does. You leave the planet, all of a sudden you get into hyperspace and boom, you're right there on the planet. Same thing with Destiny and all that stuff.
Well, but real quick, crazy. The thing is, you know, I understand for this game because this is a role-playing game. This is not a flight simulation game or a space simulation game. Yeah. Like, you know, what's the name of it? The others. Well, Star Citizen, unfortunately. And then the other one, what's the name of it? I forget the name of it.
That is not a game.
Well, the other space sim game. You could literally fly from one planet to another planet, you know, and you can also use hyperspace if you need to use it. But you know, sometimes you don't have to use it. But and you know, that's cool, but those are space simulation game. This is not a space simulation game. This is a RPG game. I don't know why people were expecting it when they never said it was gonna be this. Like
the thing is
had something real quick.
You had something. Go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say that they talked about how like you can't land on planets, so there's gonna be something where you're traveling from planet to planet that's gonna just like push you to that planet. I'm assuming it's gonna be a hyperspace thing. And you think of Skyrim, right? Like Skyrim, you can literally fast travel from one side of the map to the other once you've discovered it. So I feel like it'll be the same thing with Starfield.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Well,
Yeah.
I am curious how they're gonna do the space combat though. Like, is it gonna be
Yeah,
a certain scenario? Because
that
like,
was
Said-
pretty cool.
since
Yeah, I don't know, but he in his interview with IGN, he was like Mech Warrior. I don't know if you guys have played
Oh,
Mech Warrior before, but he said it's a little
yeah.
bit
No, but
faster than Mech
uh,
Warrior, not quite as
yeah,
slow, but similar to that.
if it's a slow as MechWarrior, it's gonna be bad because MechWarrior just gets slower and slower throughout the years. It's a
Yeah.
slow game. It's a fun game, but it's just slow. It takes time, you know. You gotta turn the robot and just chew, you know, stuff like that. But okay, but the whole situation, the graphics look awesome. I love that you got to get resources to put stuff on the ship. I love how you got to get resources to build space stations, stuff like that, to get people to come over. Like when I saw the Mars rover, that was freaking awesome. I was like, whoa, that is just incredible. And I mean, there's gonna be so much stuff to do in that game. It's gonna be so much fun. I mean, I don't understand why people critique it too much, but it's just to get their voices out, because I think they're just mad that they're not gonna get the game in their console. Like, for example, the fanboys just critique it too much, like, oh, this. I'm like, dude, it's actually happy this game is coming out, because if this game comes out, right, it's like this is No Man's Sky on steroids. Something that this is how we wanted No Man's Sky to be, pretty much. This is how we wanted it to be, and it's something that you're happy with it. I mean, seriously, you're gonna go to planets, fight enemies, shoot factions, join factions, do a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's got so much stuff, on it. It's incredible. I mean, that game for me, when I saw it, I was like with my mouth open. It's like, this is gonna be the actually one of the best games that they ever made. No joke. No joke. They got lots of things of Fallout in it. They got lots of things of Skyrim in it. So mix it all up. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
I mean,
Uh,
I hope so.
look. They're making fun of me. They say drunk flying. You know what? If you put Sour Blow on a ship and you're in that game, get ready, because Sour Blow is gonna crash into you all the time. Because if you see him how he drives, imagine him flying a spaceship. That's gonna be insane. Dear Lord, that's why. Oh man, we're gonna get a lot of Sour Blow hitting us with the spaceship. But yeah, again, the game looks interesting. I can't wait to see more gameplay, and I can't wait to hear more about it. But as soon as I heard it's gonna be like a Skyrim in space, and now I see they like you get to build space stations and stuff. That just blew my mind up. I was like, wow, they also got Fallout stuff in it. That's just amazing. It's really gonna be a great game. It is. This
definitely.
is this says Sappho Louis is the creator of the universe. He farted and they call it the Big Bang now. That is actually, I have a funny story about a fart and the Alien Isolation game. Seriously, I do.
Crazy. You want a timeout?
No, but it's a funny story. I can say it real quick before
I,
Silent comes up.
I feel like this is a story I need to hear.
Oh, you need to hear. Okay. Alien Isolation, right? You can play Alien Isolation with the Connect, right?
Yeah.
You can put the Connect, you play Alien Isolation. So I was playing Alien Isolation. I was like this. I was just playing Alien Isolation with my feet up because I play like
Captain,
this.
please come save us.
And so I was playing Alien Isolation nice and comfy. And I see the alien comes out. So yeah, first thing I do is run inside a locker. So I'm like, oh, nice and comfortable. And I just let one rip. Just let it out. All of a sudden, I hear the damn alien running. Opens the door, grabs me, and just kills me. I was like, what did I do? And it was all because of that fart. Thanks to the Kinect. And that's why I said, I'm not playing this game with the Kinect anymore. And I took the Kinect off. But yeah, man.
And on that note,
Yes.
Yeah, please save us.
ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us with this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you on board next weekend or week. Goodness, the beer. At 7 p.m. at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I leave you with today's co-pilot, Crazy Louie, for the outros.
All right. First of all, let's say a big thank you for Mr. Plume for coming out and hanging out with us. Hey, thank you, Plume. We had a fantastic show with you. Really awesome to have you, and I can't wait to have you again on the show later on the future. You're an awesome guest, and hey, it was a lot of fun drinking beers with you, buddy. I actually had 3 beers. I was gonna go for number 4. I was like, nah, let me not go get it because I'll just drink it tomorrow since
You're
tomorrow's a free
tipsy
day.
already.
No, I'm not tipsy. Trust me. I got. It takes a lot more. I'm happy, but I'm not tipsy. But yeah. So let's start with our awesome guest, Mr. Plume. Tell everybody where we can find you.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. It was a ton of fun finishing up my third beer here, so it was great to just hang out with you, talk about games. You can find me. The best place to find me is on YouTube, Plume Network, and then on Twitter as well, Plume Network. I mean, or the at the Big Plume. I am a fake insider, so if you see me giving you inside information about things, it's just me retweeting things that people have already said. But anyways, catch me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. And yeah, great time tonight. And thanks for having me on, guys.
And thank you
Same.
for coming. And thank you for coming on the show, man. Really, we really had a lot of fun with you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Silent Cypher, please tell everybody where we can find you, my dear brother.
Well, real quick before I do my outro, I did want to point out to Plume that I don't know if you guys ended up doing it, but I decided to divert my attention on the beer. So I went from a hazy double IPA, and I bounced to Pirate Weekend, of which Pirate Weekend. Don't get too excited, Sour. There's no Sea of Thieves involved. Pirate Weekend is a stout aged in rum barrels with coconut, cocoa nibs, and marshmallow flavor. And it
Wow.
is 13%? 13%, I believe. Yeah,
Seems-
I believe
Wow,
so.
sounds like this plane's going down.
I know.
Yeah.
It's landing just at the right time, just so I can go crash into the bed instead of on the tarmac. Uh, all right, crazy. We see you. That's still not 150.
Yeah,
So
you still got a long way to go.
your 3, 4, or 5% beers versus my 2 10 plus are a little different.
Hey,
So anyways, oh, sorry, Sappho. Oh God. All right. Yar, this be me pirate beer. It's the pirate weekend. It has coconut. It's got special marshmallow flavor and all that you need as a grown boy. Is that better, Seth? Anyways,
That's pretty good.
as for my outro, you can find me all over the place where videos and social media exist. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. You can find me on the consoles. You can find me on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, all over the place as Silent Cypher. But more importantly, you can find me here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my 2 brothers, Sour Blow and Crazy Louie Gaming on the Crazy Louie Gaming Network on YouTube. Plume, truly, man, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It was awesome. It was awesome to get to hang out with someone who also has a very cool interest in beer as well. I look forward to talking unique beers with you in the future. Before I got into my current job, I was in the beer industry, so I'm very familiarized with a lot of that stuff, and I love talking beer. So if you're ever bored, you want to play some games and talk some beer, I'm always around. But thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Thanks for having me on, and for sure, I will definitely take you up on that. I love learning about new beers, and if you got good suggestions, I will be drinking those beers.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right, crazy.
all right, now for the sour grunt. Where can everybody find you, sour citizen? Because that's all he talks about is sour citizen, and he's mad.
I don't
that
even
Star
talk
Food-
about it. You guys bring it up. But anyway,
What? You talked about it for the last half an hour. You were saying Starfield.
but you guys keep bringing it up. But anyway,
you even said it was a 30, 40-minute long game. I was like, what? That's
Uh,
Star Citizen.
anyway, Bloom, thank you so much for coming to our show. I'm actually a huge fan of your show. I watch it almost, I watch all your clips almost every day. Unfortunately, I do gotta apologize because I do watch it while I'm at my job, so I don't usually text, which I'm sure that's not good for your the whole algorithm. But I do love your content, man. Keep up the good work. Nice having you here. Hopefully, maybe Friday, we can meet up and play. I mean, not meet up, but we can play. We usually play every Friday night. We're probably gonna play Ninja Turtles, so you're welcome to join us.
Hey, man.
And
I'm Michelangelo. Thursday.
We'll see.
We'll see.
all right.
We're gonna have a fight that
Well,
day.
anyway, great having you in the show. I'm really, it was really awesome. And you can find me at actually, Lobby de Juegos for the Spanish community. We have a Spanish speaking channel, which we have a podcast every Tuesday. And of course, you can find me here every Wednesday, Xbox International. And on Twitter, you can find me SourBlow18.
That's awesome. That's awesome. First things first, before I start my actual chat, you guys were awesome. You guys were
Yes.
fantastic. You guys really rocked the show. And again, hey Plume, thank you for joining us tonight. Really, it was a whole lot of fun. Seriously, with a lot of love. I want you to be back with us again and drink a couple beers. We had a lot of fun. And I hope to see you this Friday with us playing on the gaming community, which we'll be playing Ninja Turtles. Sour Blood is going to be Master Splinter. That's all we know. Yep. I'll be Michelangelo.
I have no problem with that.
Yep. And I think Santa Seth will be April O'Neil. He kind of looks like Okay. So let's keep on going. So guys, where can you find the crazy one? You can find me at Crazy Louis Gaming at Twitter. And also you can find me at Lobby de Juegos con mi hermano el sábado a las 7 de la noche PM todos los martes. En el canal de Sourblog Gaming o va a ser Lobby de Juegos al final. Bueno, vamos a decir Sourblog Gaming mientras tanto. Pero sí, ahí me pueden encontrar a las 7 de la noche. Y como si... I was going to keep on Spanish. But as always, you guys can find me here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. with my brothers Sourblog and Silent Cypher here, hanging out each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Xbox International, the Crazy Louis Gaming YouTube channel. Seriously, had a lot of fun today, but before I go, I want to say two things. I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the guys in Ukraine. Seriously, you guys deserve, after I saw that trailer, you guys send my loves and prayers, and I hope that war ends soon for you guys, really. And one last thing, I want to mention this, and this is serious. I just got a message here on Twitter. It's all about Assassin Lupa. It says, so I just talked to John, who is Assassin Lupa's husband, and he told me that she is having a test and stroked out, and now they're keeping her sedated so her brain will shrink. Doesn't look good. Let's wish the best for her. She's such a great person. I hope she pulls through. Hey, Assassin Lupa, really, from the bottom of my heart, hope you get better. Seriously, when I read that, it really crushed my heart because really, Lupa, I love you a lot. You're such a great person. I really hope you get better. So, guys, send your thoughts and prayers to her, and I hope she gets better. Yes, Assassin Lupa is such a great person. So, guys, it's time to end the show. Like I always say, love games, stop the hating. And remember. Let's go. Let's rock and let's get crazy. Yes. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.